At least you can't say that right at the very beginning because apparently YouTube's got like this algorithm and on live streaming where if you cuss too many times in the first couple of minutes or something like that, like they downrank that shit or something apparently like that. I don't know. Here I am
Right.
using expletives.
Okay, here's $1 million question. I had a lady ship me back a PlayStation that worked.
$50 question?
And she said it didn't work. Like, there's a part of me that, like, I just don't feel that I need to give her back her original shipping. I think that she lied to me. I think she's a liar.
Right.
And I think that she got.
Did she ship it back to you?
Yeah. But she also didn't include the original wrapping that was with it. Like, it had like the original plastic that came with it, like the white foam stuff that was just a little extra, a little extra, and it ain't in the box. And I'm just kind of aggravates me. I'm just kind of aggravated. And I sent her a message. I said, I plugged it in and tested it and tried 3 games, random games. 2 of them worked. And then I was like, let me find the most scratch game here. And I stuck it in. And guess what? It worked.
It worked.
What up, Dickwads? Who's 1941 Designs?
That's Rob. That's Rob.
Oh, okay. Come on in and we'll have 4 dicks so we can touch them like this.
Oof.
I get static though. You have to go with Phil.
Oof.
Oof. Come on in. The water's fine.
The water's fine.
I got me a wheelchair.
That's awful.
I'm the handicap flipper.
I'm surprised there isn't one of those.
Well, the closest you would get would be Paige, and he's the 1-foot flipper. I wonder what Chris is doing. I'm gonna. Is it okay if I send this link to? Well, he's in the chat.
Did Rob send you a message early or on Facebook at all, John?
I haven't. I've been busy. I haven't had a chance to check.
I told him to message you about that that AI thing, that AI program that you have that you've been making your shorts with.
It's awesome. It's called Opus Clip. And the only way I can tell you any more about it is that if you drag your ass in here and talk to us.
You hear that, Rob?
You got to come live, Rob. You got to
Opus Clip.
You got to bring in them. You got to bring all that man meat in here and let us ogle you. He's like, I am not. I'm sure he's heard worse. He was a Marine or is a Marine. Ain't nothing I could say that he ain't heard 10 times. When you're sitting shoulder to shoulder with someone shitting in a latrine, I'm sure you've seen it all.
He's on his way home, he said.
That's fine. He can get in when he gets there. No, it's called Opus Clip, Rob. It's pretty cool. I'm still testing it. I paid $110 for like 300 or 3,600 minutes. Now, I'm starting to see a downtrend in some of my videos on the views and stuff, and I think it's because I uploaded everything just to see how it would do. And I think if you keep uploading trash, and some of the stuff I uploaded was kind of trash, that YouTube will they're like, nah, you're not going to upload trash. We're going to restrict you if you upload a bunch of trash.
No, Triple T, you're not going to stream tonight.
Tornado Terry Turner.
Yeah, that's one of my guys.
What you gonna do, brother? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? They call me Mega Tits. Look at that right there. Ooh.
Yeah, I need that. I need that warrior figure.
The
Or that warrior.
The one you want is this. That's the one. It's got the old Taker rookie in there, I think. He has 2 rookies, right? One that he won't acknowledge, and then he has the...
Right.
What you gonna do?
You're 298,000 miles. I told you that car's a beast, man.
What is it?
I sold Rob my Cherokee.
Oh, yeah.
And it's at 298,000 miles now.
Look at that freaking van, the Taker van. That's freaking awesome. Bret the Hitman Hart. This is what you need. This is a kind of wrestling right here, man. Some of them, I want to see some of these matches. You want to get me dry for something? I want to see somebody in some overalls wrestling somebody in some mud.
In a hog pan?
I know. I don't want to see nobody get nothing weird. No weird disease.
With a pig in it?
No, we don't want no pigs. We don't need no pigs. Here we go. Now this is a good one too. Undertaker and Paul Bearer. Ooh, why? Undertaker. He was so big. I watched the match the other night where Taker and Mankind were wrestling it was like 1996 in your house, WWF in your house. It was a great wrestling match. It was fantastic. You can't do that with my Undertaker. Oh. They're loud over there at the steakhouse.
I hear that. They loud.
I'm going to have to turn the Megadeth on.
Ooh.
Hello, me.
I would have never thought of you as a Megadeth person.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, have you listened to the lyrics to Megadeth? Like, really?
Yeah.
Now, there's some of them I don't like because it's God. So it's not.
Right. Well, that's why I was saying, that type of reason.
Yeah, no, I like the later Megadeth. I like it after he got saved and loved Jesus, and it'd be way better.
Shut up, Craig. I'm tired of your old ass.
Go buy some more shitty storage sheds.
Yeah. Yeah. Go buy some more shitty storage sheds.
He came in the other chat.
Talk about a dumpster fire. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm gonna spend $300 on a storage unit and it's gonna be a fucking bust. You want to call me a dumpster fire?
Dumpster.
You take a mortal man and you put him in control. Watch him become a god.
Craig,
watch people heads a roll. Oh,
don't have the super chats, okay?
A roll, just like the Pied Piper led rats through the streets. We dance like marionettes, swaying to the symphony of destruction. See?
There you go. Good job.
Like, great. It's like
That was
the
outstanding.
the later Megadeth is just. I'm just saying, it's great shit. It's great stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Now the early stuff, some of it's good too, but you got to be careful because some of it'll steal your soul. There's a couple songs he won't even do anymore because Dave Mustaine was into black magic and witchcraft, and some of the stuff that he wrote, the lyrics in those songs are actually incantations, and he's like, I won't say that stuff anymore because now he loves Jesus and he likes dark, heavy metal, and I bet you don't want that.
Yeah.
See, I picked these up. These are 3D glasses. They've got the red, the black, but they're freaking awesome. Like, they're paid a whole $1 for them. I was pretty stoked about that when I found them.
You should have been pretty stoked about that.
Tornado Terry Turner says Ragnarok year Rex Rare is going to lose that match. What's his name?
Rickster.
Rick. I don't even know why you would. How would you fucking spell it that way?
Ragnarok.
But it's like that's not even right, bro. Just like the Pied Piper. You know what? I'm not saving any of the PS2 stuff. I don't need any of it. I don't want any PS2 stuff. I'm going to sell it all. Because I don't really like playing PS2. Because the graphics aren't that good. I'm going to go there. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the graphics suck.
I was playing the 64 today.
The 64 graphics suck. What?
Hey, but they were good when we were, kids.
But if you're playing Mario or something, it's fine. But if you're like playing a realistic war game and everybody's heads are like square and angular, he's running like this.
Yeah, no, I was playing Mario Kart Racing and Mario 64. Going Peach's Castle and jumping the.
Oh, you were all in Peach's. You were all in Peach's Castle, huh?
It was very peachy.
GTA San Andreas is a great game.
Piper led rats through the streets. That's a great song.
I mean, I don't try to compare what was back in the 90s to what is current today because, like, the technology is completely different. You know what I mean? Like,
I want to
game wise.
I want to start wrestling, but I want to be like a bad guy. But I want to be like an anti-woke guy that comes out and has a T-shirt that says like, "I don't care about your pronouns" and stuff like that. I wonder how well that would go over at a good wrestling show.
Probably not very well.
Probably not.
Well, not very well. Wrestling's pretty woke right now.
And then that's the thing that I don't understand is that, like, wrestling, like, I can understand being woke and being, I don't understand being woke. I understand being respectful. And typically, from what I've seen, a lot of wrestlers tend to be free thinkers and they tend to be, but like to get caught up in all that stuff, I don't get, like, I don't get it. I don't understand why right now that's such a problem in wrestling.
Me neither. It is, though. I mean,
it is. I know it is because like I like a lot of wrestlers locally, and even some of those guys are like they're super woke, and I'm like, you're woke.
Yeah, I kind of just ignore it. I'll let people do what they want. Nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna
until they come along and they say static. It's your turn. Open up your mouth because it's sliding. It's your turn to slide.
No.
Console hockey.
No. I'm like, you can go over there with that. Not my thing, buddy.
The thing is that I think eventually you're not gonna have a choice in it.
Well,
they're gonna be like, "Oh, do you like buying food? Okay, well then, take it."
It could be a thing. It could not be a thing.
They're gonna say Jason Static.
Triple T, you need to shut your little mouth.
Throw that in the trash. I don't even want to mess with this stuff. Throw it in the trash.
You don't even know how to roll.
Throw that in the trash. You know what?
You can't even do a back bump, Triple T.
Throw that in the trash. I ain't playing with it. What are you doing, Craig?
Yeah, Craig, are you still here? Or did your
Or did you go buy another storage shed? Craig the storage shed buyer.
Yeah, I like how. Did we ever figure out whose post that Craig posted in the group chat? That 100,000 was that his?
I don't know who that was, but it wasn't Craig.
Craig was flexing on someone else's stuff.
He probably
screenshot it and was just like, "Oh, look, guys, this was me."
That's akin to taking somebody else's dick pic and sending it to a woman and trying to act like it's yours.
Yeah.
And then you show up to the party and you're like, "Oh, wrong."
And she's
wrong
like,
guy.
"Wait, you're not black."
What?
Are you part Mexican?
Oh, part Chinese.
Craig, that is dick appropriation. You can't do that.
Oh my God! Oh, that's awful. That's awful.
Dick appropriation. They got music going over there and everything. Son of a bitch. That sounds like they're having a party. I wasn't invited. I wasn't invited, Jason Static.
Oh my God, that's awful.
I wasn't invited to the party. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. They call me John Bo. Yo.
John Boy.
Hey, yo.
John Boy.
John Bo. John Bo. Like Rambo. But it's John Bo. Because I got my Rambo jacket on that don't fit.
Ooh.
Just like marionettes swaying to the symphony of destruction. There's that one song that's got the French sound the name that I can't pronounce.
Of destruction.
I think we done ran everyone off.
Probably. Except for this Tornado Terry Turner kid.
It says Johnny Hailstorm is gonna rain hail on Jason's asshole.
Ew. That's pretty GHEY.
Huh?
That's pretty GHEY. Not my thing there, pal.
You say that. But have you ever tried?
No.
You don't know. You might like your Brussels sprouts if you eat them.
No.
You don't know.
Well, you can say
Triple
it in the
T
chat.
got some stuff to say.
You're going to say it in the
Triple
chat.
T on. Let's bring Triple T on.
No, we're not going to bring him on.
Come on, Triple T. Get in here and tell Jason Static that you're going to give him the smackdown of Triple T. Triple T, he's going to spill the tea.
No way. Not tonight. Not tonight, buddy. Not tonight. You're going to give me the tornado special.
He's going to give you the Texas Tornado Titty Twisters.
Oof, that's harsh. That's harsh.
Just the nipple.
Just the nip.
That's a tough one.
The Tornado Special. That sounds like something you would see in an adult movie theater that Pee Wee Herman would have visited.
Yeah, that's why I said this kid's weird. He's a weird one.
When's the next stream?
I don't know when the next one is. Maybe the 4th. Maybe the 4th. That's when I'll bring back Breaking the Culture.
Breaking the Culture.
Yeah, Breaking the Culture.
Breaking the Hymen with Jason Static. McCracken? You're awfully quiet.
Mr. McCracken.
I'm here.
Phil McCracken.
I'm working.
Son of a bitch. It's almost like you got bills to pay. You got mouths to feed.
Close.
Ain't nothing in this life for free. I got bills to pay. I got mouths to feed. There ain't nothing in this world for free.
That's what they say. Take it all away.
Antique Civil War. I'm getting all kinds of crazy messages.
Bring back the Cosby Show? You mean the rapist?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sorry, even though you can't go over. It's out of your range. I understand. But you ain't getting it. He's like, I'd pay $240. I'm like, I think I paid about that for it myself. I don't need to sell it that bad.
Bill Cosby was the comedian. On the show, he was a rapist.
Poor Bill Cosby. Why you gotta be so mean? He didn't mean it.
Damn it, he says. Damn it.
Damn it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby.
List, ship, repeat.
So Johnny Hellstorm likes Bill Cosby, the rapist?
He's a racist.
Rapist.
Oh, there's a difference. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Can you be a racist rapist? Like if you raped someone that was of a different sex or color and you didn't like them, but you liked them, is that racist?
I mean, I probably could be.
Like, say you didn't like, well, we're going to say pink people. You didn't like a pink person or an off-white, maybe a green. I'll go with green because there's no green people out there. But like you kind of wanted to, do the naughty with a green person. Would that be racist? Maybe you're not racist. Maybe deep down you really do like them. I'm just saying, give love a chance.
It's a weird situation that you're in, because if you don't like them, then why are you in them? Right. Or maybe you're in them because you don't like them.
What if it's your kink, but you don't like them? I don't know.
Stranger danger.
I don't know. You don't run anything, sir. You don't run anything.
Mickey Valancourt.
Are we going to break kayfabe here?
Kayfabe? What's that?
Kayfabe. Like, I feel like you guys are having fun with like your wrestling stuff and
lots of potty language. Tyler Adams is here finally. Finally, it's only taken me 3 weeks to do streams every week for 3 weeks, and Tyler finally shows up after 3 weeks. The one and only.
Glasses. Yeah.
Johnny Hailstorm, are you trying to get my YouTube channel banned?
Possibly.
I'm trying to turn this thing around, okay?
I'm trying to be an honest YouTuber.
Yeah, I'm trying to be I'm trying to be an honest YouTuber.
He can't make any money on OnlyFans, so he's going to really need some support.
I'm too ugly for OnlyFans, so I figured I would come here because I'm too ugly for OnlyFans.
His b-hole pictures don't sell that well.
And you don't have no kids, so you can't be on Only Dads.
Right.
Only moms.
Yeah.
Hey John, you remember my most popular YouTube video of all time?
Oh yeah, I remember, like it was yesterday.
The sun was setting.
My little Terry tornado blowing Jason away again. Only tornadoes. Now you're really just pushing limits. You're going to have the Anti-Defamation League upon you. Because I'm pretty sure that if they can pick up what we're saying, they can pick up what she's getting ready to say. They're going to be like, I'm sure anything that man said has been fed into the no-no button on Google a long time ago. speaking of which, have you heard that T-Mobile is wanting to fine people for hate speech over their networks?
T-Mobile?
Yeah.
Interesting.
If you send a text message that they don't like, they're going to fine you. I said, I'll track down that little magenta looking motherfucker and I'll beat him in the head with a stick. How you like this? Magenta wearing motherfucker. How you like that?
That's harsh.
Oh, it's harsh. Things you loved in 2023, John. My little Texas tornado.
I think it's eventually gonna. They're gonna ban everything to a point where there's gonna be nothing. And then all of these companies are going to be like, oh, well, now we don't have anybody to advertise to.
Someone like Elon Musk is going to be like, oh, let me set up a cell phone company. I'd be like,
yeah.
Can we all agree that I'm better than Johnny? Is Tornado Terry Turner, is he a wrestler too?
No, he's a trainee and he can't even do a back bump.
I don't even know what that is, so I can't do one either. I can't talk shit on a guy that can't do a back, whatever you said, because I can't do one either.
Landing on your back and like a body slam, you know, like when they body slam you and they land on.
Oh, I could do that. Yeah, but I don't want to be body slammed because I'm 44 years old. That would hurt.
Yeah.
Plus, like the idea of professional wrestling where some grown man rubs his nuts all over me for 15 minutes, it just does not set well with me. I don't know.
Are you sure? That's not what you told me.
That's never tried it.
That's not what you told me before we went live.
Maybe if it was
having a conversation today with two gay men.
You were just telling Static to try it.
Maybe if it was Chris Slammer, he is kind of handsome, but like some of them other guys, they don't have it going down like Chris does.
Right.
I mean, Chris is in the gym working it out all the time. The problem is then you get in a situation to where, like, if you do have a boyfriend like Chris Slammer, he could take you. He could take whatever he wanted from you. He's going to get you in a cross-naked chicken wing chokehold, and next thing you know, you've been.
I don't think I've ever heard of that move.
Well, it's a move you don't really hear. It's a move you more feel.
It's John's signature move.
It happens in prison, and it's pretty bad.
Oh, okay. That makes sense now.
Yeah, Slammer gives me Hulk Hogan vibes without the controversy. It's like you've already you get a good Jesus Hogan without all the rape and giving Brutus the Barber Beefcake head. Or you ever hear that story?
Yeah, that was a story I heard once.
There's
a lot of weird Hogan stories.
That ruined my childhood. Like, not as a child, but as an adult, looking back at my childhood, I'm like, Hulk Hogan given the beefcake.
Well, they didn't call him Beefcake for no reason. Right? I mean, they called him Beefcake for a reason.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Oh my gosh. My wife sold 509 items for $18,888.
Dang.
She's a superstar.
You go, Megan.
So between my account and her account, we sold nearly $137,000 on eBay.
Not bad.
Not too bad for a couple white folk. And she really white folk.
Right? She's rated.
I think Chris might be coming in. Be the railroad picker.
You mean they turned down the Only Statics fan page? Yeah. It didn't make me millions. It didn't make anybody millions. That's why they turned it down.
How old is Mr. Terry Turner?
Not old enough to be talking like that.
Is he just a kid? Because I want to know, because I don't want to be talking inappropriately to children.
Yeah. He's
Like,
of the age.
Does he got to get up for school in the morning?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'll be nice to Mr. Triple T. When you get your gym set up, I'm going to have to bring Judah up. He is so intrigued by wrestling right now.
Yeah.
You will be the coolest. You'll be the coolest motherfucker in his life. You might be cooler than me. He'd be like, I'm going to go hang out with Static.
That's the goal of I'm here to steal your whole family, John.
I'm on a break. He's on a break. My little town.
John is going to switch providers. You're gonna have to switch your phone providers.
It was Bridget Baker. I found it. It showed up in my thing. She did $333,753. Let's look at her eBay store. Let's look at her eBay store. Hi, my name is Phil McCracken. You think your mom's still talking to you, Phil?
No. I hung up. I don't have time for that.
No, I just thought maybe she was still talking. Like maybe she just is like.
Oh,
She has 8,085 items listed.
damn.
I got 2,700. So if I could get 8,000 items listed, I could be doing $300,000 a year. What am I doing with my life, Jason Static? You know, I could redo my house and that house that you're living in down there, Static. I could do them both. If I made 300,000, I would put a furnace in that house so you wouldn't freeze to death.
Right.
Some central air.
Right. That'd be great.
A roof so it wouldn't leak on you. Maybe some
John,
soffit so the killer hornets won't try to rape you while you're sleeping.
right. John is wanting to wrestle as the Rad Relic.
No, Ty. I can't because I have this thing about another grown man rubbing his nether regions all over my body. Sorry you had to come in and hear that, Chris, but we're talking about wrestling.
I hope you're talking about wrestling.
No, I'm going to go down there and wrestle me some Jason Static. I'm the Yeah. I tell you what, did you watch the last Trash to Cash podcast?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No, I didn't see it. They didn't mention the railroad reseller, so I can't watch it.
Oh my God. They mentioned Paige like 10 times on there.
Yeah, I think he's hurt Kevin's feelings a little bit too.
I think they just need to make Paige the third man on or the fourth man on the Trash Cash podcast, and then they could talk. They could all three talk about Kevin and just really just put Kevin through the old washer ringer.
There you go.
I like.
And I want to make something a little bit clear. I'm not anti-Kevin. I just think if you go through his description, his links are legitimately a mile long. And I'm like, dude, come on, I mean, I'm not against the guy.
I don't have no problems with anything he's doing, but I just make YouTube content. And when I'm just making content and he shows up thinking I'm talking about him, I'm like, Kevin, if I am talking about you, I ain't going to say your name. Nobody's going to know. So if it makes you feel a certain way, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, see, I'm closest to Kevin and I've reached out to him multiple times and my subscription level isn't up to his. That's the way I get a feeling. Okay. He doesn't come out and say that. I'm not saying he said that, but I've reached out to him multiple times and I'm not saying he hasn't been nice. That's not what's been said, but there's just no interest on his behalf.
I wonder if he's going to show up in the stream. He's going to show up and he's going to say, looky here, you railroad reseller.
Well, even before I started the channel, and actually my first video ever, and it wasn't even to be for really YouTube or anything, I found a VHS for $1 and I sold it for over $3,000. And when I sold it for over $3,000, I contacted him because I figured he would like that on an episode or something. If I had somebody in my area that found a VHS and sold it for $3,000, I would probably be interested in having that on my show.
Right.
That's just me talking. Now, maybe he has no interest.
He probably gets a lot of people that reaches out to him though and wants him to do stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really tough. I couldn't imagine. Jason Static probably understands more than any of us because he's constantly being bombarded by,
Yeah.
He's constantly being bombarded by people who want him on their show. I think last week it was Mr. Beast that said, Jason Static, won't you come on live with me? And
I was like, sorry, Mr. Beast, I'm too busy. Can't do
sorry,
it.
Mr. Beast. As much as I'd like to, I just can't. Can't. I know that my channel would grow to hell with that. I know my channel would grow to 1 million overnight, but look at my Versace tie with all the presidents on it. Now that's fancy right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's got them all. Yeah. Versace.
It's got Trump on there?
No, that was before Trump.
It ain't got them all, man.
It ain't got them all, but it's got most of them.
I haven't found a good tie in a while. I was finding decent ties from time to time, but my tie ability has dried up lately.
I don't even remember how to tie.
Nah, not me either.
There we go.
Over the loop.
Like I've got it.
Over the loop through the whole.
It don't matter. I ain't never wearing a tie again. I said if I have to go anywhere to wear a tie, I ain't going.
How y'all fellas doing tonight? How y'all fellas doing?
We're doing good.
Doing good.
We're just hanging out live so that Jason can get
so I can build my channel back up.
Yeah.
It died many years ago.
We used to have a reseller after dark thing that we used to hang out and talk nonsense, and it was pretty big back in the day, but unfortunately is all things. It comes and goes.
Yeah, it got beat up by the algorithm because we were too naughty.
It was all really your fault.
We were saying the wrong things.
Now, John, when I first started watching YouTube, there was the reseller 6-pack.
Yeah, that was Lonnie and John and the Steve and Shane. I was on there every once in a while as a fill in. If somebody couldn't come in, they would message me and be like, "Hey, you want to come on?" And I was on there a couple times.
Yeah, that's how far I go back with watching reselling videos on YouTube.
Right.
That was kind of my beginning.
There was like one turn before that was like another group of people that were back like in 2013, I think, that's kind of when the early stuff happened. And then I made one video in 2014, and then I didn't really start picking anything back up until like 2015. And I made 1,000 videos, and I just suck at YouTube. That's my problem. I don't understand it.
I think your videos are excellent. That's YouTube's problem, not yours.
Yeah, I don't get why it doesn't get pushed out, but like I'm not good at creating drama, and I think that's what it has to do. It'd be like I got into a fist fight at this yard sale and like literally like fight somebody at a yard sale. Like maybe that would go viral. Like, could you imagine doing something like that? Be like stage it like Jason Static shows up and we both walk up to the table at the same time. And like
the same thing at the exact same time.
And then we look at each other and be like, "That's mine. I had my hand on it first." And he's like, "You're gonna pry it from my cold dead fingers." And like he takes, because he used to be a professional wrestler, so he takes the punch and rolls, and then we just jump on each other and have someone recording it.
I mean, it's weird. The two videos of mine that did well were both of them that contain about the Rockstar Flipper stuff. That's the ones that did well. The ones that I actually put time and effort into, they don't go nowhere.
But that's because you've said something. You are using a hot topic, and that's what you kind of have to do, is use that hot topic. Like if I was going to make a video, like right now the hot topic is 2024, what you're going to do to make your business be successful in 2024. And I've thought about making a video talking about how horrible it's going to be to resell in 2024, because typically people don't spend a lot of money in an election year. They tend to save, because we've got Joe Biden, and a lot of people are afraid that he's going to get reelected, or a lot of people are afraid Trump's going to get reelected. And they don't know what to do.
Well, here, I've said this in some of my videos, but you may not. But I've been in the truck business, building business for 26 years. My dad did it 37 years before me. And I can tell you every election, 4 years, no matter which Republican, Democrat, Santa Claus, Ross Perot, everybody gets scared. The big money people get scared and stop spending money. And that trickles down to me and you stop spending money.
Yeah.
Right. But that would be a good video topic, like 2024 reselling Armageddon. Hold on to your dollars, or something like that, and have a picture of like behind you have a mushroom cloud coming up, and then have a picture of you clutching like a handful of money and like holding it real tight. Like I've learned what to do. I just don't have I have the ideas, but I don't have the desire to do them.
Do you feel that's below you? Is that what you're thinking?
I don't. Here's the deal. I mean, we've talked a little bit, but one of the things that I've never had I kind of developed a reputation in the reselling community, and it kind of caused me to get ostracized because me and a particular reseller didn't get along too well. And who are you waving at?
Me and John had beefs and feuds with people.
Yeah, well, with Connie.
So it got John in trouble with the reselling community.
Yeah, and we but like it's tough. Like it's really tough to be, and I don't want to be a fake person. If you could make content and be like real with people, but like people don't want that. Like they don't want the truth. I say that, but then I watch people like Paige, who speaks a lot of truth, and Shane, who speaks a lot of truth. I don't know. I've thought about trying it again because I mean, I started from the bottom and I'm still here. So like, you can't hurt anything. I ain't like Drake. I ain't at the top.
Well, you've always been great to me. I appreciate any support you've always given me.
Oh, I like you. I think you're a good guy. The thing is, my thing isn't what can you do for me on YouTube. It's can I tolerate you if we hung out outside of reselling? Like, and I think that we would be good friends. But like, I don't care. I make enough money on eBay, and like, if I could get YouTube, here's the deal. Here's the deal. There's a lady I just seen that Craig Murray. That no good scoundrel Craig Murray stole her image and tried to pass it off the head. Craig Murray, you no good dirty dog. You dirty no good hound humping, leg humping dog. You stole that Bridget Baker's numbers and you tried to pass them off as yours. I caught you, Craig Murray. I caught you dead to rights. But anyways, she has 8,000 items listed on eBay, and she sold like $330,000 worth of stuff on eBay this year. Now, if you made half of that was just cash, if you had to give half of it away in taxes and half of it was cost of goods and half of it was shipping, like what could you do with the $150,000, Chris? I mean, maybe you're making that kind of money working at the plant, but like I'm not. Like 150 grand, like I'm living good. Like
I mean, that would be 7 days a week at the plant, 7 days a week, and a lot of 10-hour days to get to 150.
Wow. Yeah. See,
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I refuse. I did in like 2005, 2006, do a lot of hours, and I was miserable, dude. This doesn't make me miserable. The reselling stuff doesn't make me miserable. I mean, I'm not saying it's always a pleasure 24/7. But I just don't dread it. Whenever I've had a few occasions to just resell, and man, I always just enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah. It's a pain in the butt sometimes. It's a pain in the butt sometimes, but it's enjoyable. Like I have an issue with getting stuck in stuff that's like where it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like you go in, you work 9 to 5, and then you do the exact same thing every single day for 8 hours a day. Like I can't take that. It drives me nuts over a period of time. And then I just end up like, oh my, I can't do it no more. So like in particularly with like reselling for me, like I can do this and it doesn't affect me like that because it's different all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah.
Now what I was going to say is I used to coupon resell. And what I used to do is get all the coupon junk, and it was always shampoo, body wash, dishwashing liquid, all that junk. I used to get it for free or super cheap, and then I'd have a couple yard sales a year, and I'd make good money off of it. But it was always the same junk. I was always going to Kroger's or somewhere and buying the same junk, arguing with the same managers. It was just, it got old after a while. I come to despise it, even though I made good money, and then I was able to have plenty of stuff for myself. But it was the same old junk.
Right.
Where like, this week I got to, and I showed John there was, I got some GoBots and stuff this week. It's just,
I seen that in the chat.
When you get to find stuff like that, it's just, it makes, things so much funner. It just, even if you don't make a whole lot of money, just being able to have something like that in your store.
Right.
You know?
That's I kind of like, and I could probably make a lot more money if I put a lot more time in it. Like I'm a part-time seller, and John's got on me for years now, like telling me to go full time. But me, I'm just like, I don't really know if I want to. But like I all I do is I strictly do like collectibles and pop culture related stuff.
You
And
can't. You got to buy weird shit. Let me show you something I picked up today, Jason.
well, John, I have weird shit. But when I talk about pop culture stuff, I don't mean just like comic books and toys and stuff like that. But like you see that those signs back there, that's pop culture related items. That's pop culture related item. Gas and oil stuff is pop culture related items. You know, like pop culture.
I've seen it sell well. So.
Yeah.
You know.
I like the collectibles market. Like that's what I know the best. That's what I like the best. You know, and why not sell stuff that you like to sell? You know,
Right.
And then you actually care about what you're doing. Like, if I was sitting here selling ties every single day, just because that's what, say hypothetically, ties were the in thing and that's what made the most money, and that's what I would go for. Like I would be miserable doing that because I don't give a shit about ties.
Right. You got to be passionate about what you do.
Yeah.
No matter.
Now, this is what I'm talking about. Weird shit, Static. I'm not
Well,
meaning
sure.
weird shit. I mean shit that is just like this. Like, here's the deal.
Here's
the deal.
All I see is you standing in front of a bucket.
Here's the deal.
The drum beat.
Here's the deal, Static. You know, sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do to be able to do the things that you do want to do. Unfortunately, you can't make a living.
Sell plastic bags?
Yes, you can.
Make a living.
Blockbuster bags.
You can't make a living selling
Walmart bags too. Old ones.
Selling stuff that you love most of the time, because you know we can't find enough pop culture stuff. But today, old Johnny Johnson took my overly large self to a thrift store in Park Hills, and I was in there looking around, looking for stuff looking to resell, and I found something. I found this right here, Static. It is a.
Can you hold it back any further from the camera?
I will. It's a Skinzit. It's an electric fish skinner. The guy runs a thrift store for veterans. You probably know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So I picked it up. I looked at it. I go, how much is this? He goes, $10. I go, I said, I'll pay you 20. I gave him $20 for it. And when I scanned it, because I'm like, that's got to be worth more than 20. It sells for $160 on eBay. Now, here's the deal. You know me. I got a pond in my front yard. How many times have you ever seen me down there fishing? Never. No. You're never going to see me down there fishing, Static. You're never going to look out your window there and go, oh, look, John's fishing. But I bought this.
He's using his.
You know why? Because that's a vehicle, Static. That is a car. I carry my fat ass. I get into this car, and that is what allows me to live my life by whatever means I desire. Now, I don't enjoy selling fishing stuff. I don't really care. It's nothing that gets me excited. But the fact is that's my electric bill for next month. That's perfectly fine. But the thing is, when you go out and you look, you can't just sell what you want. You have to sell what other people want to buy. You can't just sell, Frankenstein dildos. You got to go out. You got to find some cool stuff. You got to find the fish skinners. I sold a big wooden fish sign yesterday, $475. That's my mortgage payment. I had $25 in the fish sign. I had $20 in that. So for $65, I got my mortgage paid, and I got my electric bill paid. So what you need to do And I'm going to tell you what to do, even though I know Jason Static is going to say, I don't even care. You got to sell stuff you don't like. You got to sell stuff you don't like. If you want to be full-time, you got to go out and find stuff that makes money, that pays your bills. Because it's a lot better to sell stuff you don't like than to, man, I know I couldn't do your job, man. I couldn't deal with the assholes that come into the restaurant. I couldn't cook food. I just couldn't do it. I love what I do, man. The freedom.
There's assholes in asshole buyers in there. No matter what business that you're in, there's always going to be asshole customers.
You're right, 100%. Look at this, Static.
That's cool.
I paid $5 for it.
I would sell that.
Yeah.
Have you been up to but that's the stuff I like to sell. Have you been to the streetwear store there in Park Hills next to A to Z Games?
Mm-mm.
You need to go in. How do I know about that place and you don't? We bought this for my son. Look at that. Now that's cool. That's a Static thing if I ever seen it.
Yeah.
I have an associate's degree in culinary arts and I don't even use it.
I went all over St. Louis the other day looking for shit.
Let me ask you something, John. John, is there anything you won't sell? Like I was thinking tonight as I was driving home. I remember a while back I found some tarot cards. And
I won't sell them
on my channel. And I sold those and made good money on tarot cards.
I won't sell it.
Okay.
I won't sell. But that's okay. I don't have a problem if you do. I went into a witch store today. I went into the witch store at the factory. Did you know they had one of them there, Static? They have a witch store there. And I went in and looked around. I love rocks. I'm not like, oh, let me rub these rocks and magic stuff happens. I'm like, wow, look at this rock. Look how it was made. It's really cool. So I don't have a problem with people who like I have one of my good friends is a witch. And he's a really good friend. I've known him since I was 14 years old. We don't agree. We don't talk about it. I'm like, man, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus and he's coming soon. And I hope you get right. But if not, I love you. I'm going to be here with you. I'm not going to not be your friend. But for me and my business, the thing that I've learned is I don't sell anything that one is illegal or two that is immoral for me. Now, I don't hold anyone else to my standards. I just don't care. I have gay friends. I have people that are not of my faith. And none of that stuff matters to me. As long as we can have a cool conversation about something that we do have in common. That's 1 Corinthians 5. A lot of people get on to me. They're like, oh, you can't hang out with those people. Well, I mean, read your Bible, 1 Corinthians 5. It ain't my place to judge them. That's God's place. They don't go to my church. But I've said all that to say this. I will sell anything that's not illegal or immoral. And that's based on my beliefs. Or if someone can, I don't sell pornography. But that's not because of my religious beliefs. I don't like the objectification of women. I don't like the weird stuff that porn puts in a marriage, unrealistic expectations. I think that it's damaging for people who are in a committed relationship. I think that you ain't gonna find an idiot. What did you say, Chris?
What about horror movies that have skinematic type value?
Well, depends. Like old slasher flicks, I've sold them before, but it's not porn. It's like the old is Die Hard a Christmas movie? What do you think?
Yeah, and so is Gremlins.
I don't think so. See, I think that it's a movie that takes place at Christmas time. So, if there's a boob in a horror movie, it's not a porno. It's a boob in a horror movie. But I know what you're saying. You just gotta learn my personality. I don't take anything personal. Yeah. But I don't see a problem with it. I don't like nudity. I don't think you need it to carry the plot forward in a horror movie. But for some reason, it's the genre that, the old 80s, slasher, sleepaway camp, or, some of the really good horror movies, they're all, there is some of that stuff in there, but I don't necessarily. I mean, again, it comes back to where, like, if I won't watch it, maybe somebody else will. But when it comes to like stuff like porn and stuff like that, like where the purpose of it is that thing, then I don't want to mess with it. But I don't care if other people do. I don't care if Jason sells that stuff, or Phil down there. Phil sells a lot of that stuff though. Right, Phil?
Yeah. Right. I'll answer for Phil since he's not here.
I feel like there's two shows going on. I think there's this conversation that's taking place in the chat, and then there's what we're talking about. And like,
yeah, John, I mean, that's always been my chat, though. Like,
yeah, I think that like
always been my chat.
Tornado Terry down there is a little autistic for wrestling. He's like, I like wrestling. It's the best thing. I gotta go home and watch Judge Wapner.
So, I mean, you say you like wrestling. Who's your big guy in wrestling? Who you like? Since we're want to talk wrestling a little bit.
Mine, my all-time favorite, two of my all-time favorite, like my top. I don't really call them like my top because like I have two favorites. So like my number one is the Great Muta and Ultimate Warrior. You know, so those were my favorites: is Ultimate Warrior and Great Muta.
My favorite is the guy on my shirt,
Jason Static.
Jason Static. The guy was a legend.
Yeah.
Legend in wrestling.
Legend in his time. Hey, Eric, what's going on, buddy?
Well, I mean, as far as modern wrestling, I root for like MJF in modern wrestling, but
okay, yeah, modern.
An older wrestling, I've always kind of, God, that's so tough. I guess it depends on what subject. If you like people for talking or people for actually wrestling, you know what I mean? Because I mean, like somebody talking, I love Dusty Rhodes for talking. Dusty Rhodes could cut a promo about anything and make him feel like it touches your life. But then as far as wrestling, I mean, nobody in my opinion beats Flair at 35 years old. I mean,
I was going to say I like Flair's mouth. I like in Roddy Piper. Both of them had good mouths. Yeah, Piper was known for being able to just tear people apart. But like as far as someone that has just always been my favorite, Undertaker, Taker. For sure. New wrestling, I don't watch it a whole lot. Now, there's different phases for me. There's the 80s wrestling, and then there's 80s and 90s, and then there's the Attitude Era, which is the just freaking best era ever, and that would be Stone Cold. He's my absolute favorite. And then modern wrestling, I don't really watch a lot of it, but like, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. I mean, who's the guy from St. Louis that but he was Randy Orton. Yeah, he's probably like, I like him as a wrestler, but he isn't built like the guys from the 80s and 90s, but he's tall and he's lanky and he looks like he could handle himself in a
Have you seen him lately, John?
Beefcake. He is beefcake.
He got jacked.
But him and who else just recently come back that looked beefcake, man? I mean, just absolute built like they, you know, they'd been out a while. I can't think, but man, I thought those two guys and Randy was the one, but there was another one that, man, just looked like, I was like, this time off actually helped them get in the gym every day instead of worrying about a wrestling thing, you know. They had to be in some city somewhere else.
I would like there's just so many good wrestling, but I don't watch modern wrestling because I've gotten really big into indie wrestling. I like the smaller. I want to see a guy like you, Chris, with a singlet on out there just beating the hell out of people. That's what I want to see. Like, I could care less about. I want to see the guy that can knock back a case of cold ones and come out there after digging a ditch, working 5 days a week for the county, and then he shows up at wrestling on Friday night ready to just get his applause. Just a man of the people. I love that type of wrestling. Like, it's kind of like watching high school football versus professional football. Those kids are out there just playing for the love of the game. And those guys that come into these crowds, it might only be 25, 50 people, and they get out there and they'll beat each other with light bulbs and thumbtacks for $20. They're the best. Oh my gosh. He looks almost like fucking he almost looks like the guy that plays Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, he got huge.
Batista, yeah. He's my least favorite though. I don't like Batista.
Yeah, he got huge.
I like to meet him. I want something. I'd like to get something signed by him.
He started training at the same school that I trained at.
Now let me ask y'all something. Since y'all are all St. Louis, is it hard to get stuff for y'all? I mean, it seems like there's tons of people that I'm meeting that are St. Louis and St. Louis area. Is it tough? Is it tough to get stuff to resell? I mean, it doesn't look like it on video, but do y'all feel like y'all are fighting amongst yourselves sometimes?
There's a lot of places in St. Louis, like a lot of small places, like if you go to not even like Goodwills and stuff like that, but like you got Ollie's and stuff like that. There's probably about 10 of those things around here. You got Ross's. Like, it depends on what type of reselling that you do, but like there's so many places to go, especially up in the St. Louis area. Not so much down where me and John's at. Like, we're about an hour south of St. Louis. Maybe a little more than an hour.
I typically source auctions. I love going to auctions. You can go one day, spend $400 or $500, and you get enough stuff to list for 2 weeks.
But because I see y'all, and then I see Paige, and then I see James, and just different people, and I was like, I'm amazed by how many. Because in my area, we've got a few people, but I'm the only person in my area that has a channel. And, I'm not the biggest reseller, but it's pretty competitive even where I'm at. So,
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that don't do content and stuff like that. But like, if you go to I go to the Goodwill bins maybe like once a month, just to check stuff out, see if I can find anything cool, whether it be for reselling or for myself. And there's always people there. They had so many people there that they had to break it up. Like they do like a morning time and then an afternoon time. So like they'll go from like 9 o'clock until like or like 8, 9 o'clock until like 1-ish, and then they'll close down for a couple hours, and then they'll open back up around 3 or 4 o'clock, and then they'll go until they close. Like, it was just too many people in there at one time. So they broke it up over a period of time. But that's the downtown one. There's 2 Goodwill bins in St. Louis. But
I go to all the weird split. I'm an everything reseller, and I can, like, I was telling Static about that little pop culture shop, the little streetwear shop up in Farmington. The last time, or Park Hills, the last time I went there, I bought, these are Lego Lord of the Rings figures, and I bought I bought 2 of these the last time I was there for $2 a piece. This is the tag that I just pulled off of it. I don't know if it'll focus, but trust my words, it says $2 on there, and I bought 2 of them, so $4 for both of them. And they sell for $25 a piece plus $4.75 shipping. And I sold the last. So that was $50. That was $50 for $4. So for $8, I'm going to make $100. But I'm constantly like on the prowl. And here's the thing, Chris, what I've learned is go where there's no competition. If you find a fishing hole and there's 20 people standing around it and you're crossing lines and getting caught up and shit, quit going there. Go, like, here's the thing. Like, make a flyer. I've told this a million times. Make a flyer on a piece of paper with a little hang tags on the bottom of it. Find every little place that you can go to with a little push pin board. Put your flyer on there. Put it on a push pin board. Because you know why? The guy that's looking at the push pin board probably doesn't know how to use Facebook, is definitely not selling on eBay, but they have a lot of old stuff. Go to any place that sells like vets, like dogs and cats and horse feeds or whatever. Those are country folk. Like if you have a local, like a farm center, they all have boards there. Go put your paper up, put your pen in there, and you'll get phone calls from those people. And go where there's no competition. Go a little bit further. But when you use paper, what I always suggest to do is go to the store and buy the neon paper. Buy the paper that's bright colored, and then your paper on the board stands out. People's eyes are drawn to it, and they go, "Oh, that's interesting." And I've buy a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. I made a flyer that had neon colors. The flyer wasn't neon, but it had neon colors in it.
Yeah. Craig, you're a false witness bearer trying to take that poor ladies.
Yeah, false witness. That's why I renamed the name of this stream. We caught you, land shark picker.
We caught you, land shark picker. We know what you're about. We know.
You're a scammer.
You ain't fooling us, Craig Honeycutt.
Oof. Ouch. That's beef.
That'll be snipped, and I'll be getting threatened to be sued again.
Well, can I say this without mentioning his name? I used to be a big follower of his and watch him a lot until the wife came in. The wife drives me nuts.
I've never watched. I haven't watched in years because I'm not a fan of the man. He don't like me, and I don't like him.
I didn't know the backstory at all. I just watched the videos, and for a long time, I mean, I thought it was good stuff. And when he, a lot of my early stuff, my videos were kind of after his type thing, where I just talked about the stuff I sold. I just want to keep it simple. Like his old videos, I remember his old videos was 65 things I sold this week on eBay. And he would just go over the 65 things he sold on eBay. It wasn't, it was just him and talk about the things he sold. It wasn't other stuff. But,
as
he progressed is where, I started having issues myself. And I didn't even know the stuff that, you kind of shared. And
what's really funny is that we probably would be really good friends if we lived close to each other, but like there was just a little bit of a misunderstanding, and I kind of was a butthole, but not a big butthole. But I mean, he was too. But at least I can admit it.
Mm-hmm.
But he's, I don't care. I don't even like to talk about him anymore. Spending my time, but like, It just is what it is. I'm gonna list my fishing skinner, Jason Static, and I ain't gotta go to cook hamburgers for nobody tomorrow because I'm selling fishing skinners. You should sell fishing skinners.
That's probably a thing that I would look at, John. I have
probably. We do think a lot of lies.
I've sold a lot of fishing stuff over the years. Like I remember years ago there was I don't remember where I got it from, but maybe it was my dad's building when he first bought it, or before he even bought it. It was up in St. Louis somewhere, but like there was this little shadow box, probably about 2 feet long, about 2 feet wide, or 3 feet long by 2 feet tall, and it had all kinds of fishing lures in it.
Right.
All old kind of fishing lures. And when I was putting everything into my van, because I had that big gray van at the time, and I was putting everything in there, and my dad was there, and he picked it up. He's like, this shit's junk. Ain't nobody gonna buy this shit. And he threw it. Literally just threw it back down in the thing, and I'm like, well, I'll take everything here that you don't want, that you think shit, that nobody's gonna buy. I've literally sold everything. I've sold all of that stuff that he said was shit and that nobody would buy.
But that's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that you want to be looking for.
Yeah.
Is that like whenever? Here's the thing that Chris, you might be able to use this too. Whenever you go to someone's house and they're like, "Hey, come over. I want to show you this really cool thing here. Look at this, man. I got this thing, and it's the best damn one of those things ever." You go, "Oh, that's cool." And then you give me the one. I got one right. I got another one right here.
The other one, you got another one?
See, I got 2 of them. I got 2 black balls. But you go, "Oh wow, that's neat." And you go, while I'm here, why don't I go? Do you have a place where you store, like, where's your junk? Where's the stuff you don't? Where's your junk? And they go, "Oh, we can go look in the shed." You go out to the shed, or you go to the garage, and that's where you find the good stuff. That's where the good stuff's at. Because that one thing they typically call you over for, you got to remember, they're not a reseller. They're just like thinking, "Oh, that looks like that's something that's just great." But in reality, most of the time, the thing they want to show you is garbage. They think it's good because they have this perceived idea that item is worth a ton of money, like an old clock or like an old book. Books are the worst. When someone says, "I got an old book," I'm like, I hate to sound like Adolf, but you'd probably be better off to burn it, unless it's something special. And most likely it's not. But like, I found so much amazing stuff digging through people's junk. It's, it's just old stuff. Like, the best thing is find you a guy that redoes old houses and become friends with them and say, "Hey, you bring me the light fixtures, I'll sell them and split the money with you." I got a buddy that I do that with.
I got a whole basement full of old lights up in St.
Your
Louis.
dad messed up. Your dad messed up and let Brock pick it.
Yeah.
Brock took the good stuff that was down there.
But there's a lot of good stuff in there still.
Yeah, but he took the valuable stuff. Like, Brock knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like Brock is not the guy you want to see coming out as you're going into a place. And I say that with all due respect of your dad. I think a lot of your father. But Brock he's good. I've watched him before. I'm listing my fishing skinners for $169.
Oof, that's a steep one.
This person had 4 of them, and they sold them. They sold 4 of them. I'm gonna list it for $169.99. Actually, the cheapest one listed right now is $189. The cheapest one is $189.95. So I could probably list mine for like $184. See, that's where how do you do that, Chris? What's your opinion on that? Should I be greedy, or should I just list it for the trending selling price? And because there's only 2 listed. One's listed for $279.89, and the other one's listed for $189.95. But I could list mine.
How many sold in the 9 days?
Oh my gosh. Let's see. That's a good. You're thinking like a reseller. We can't have you on this channel if you're going to start making good points. We can't have that. In the past 90 days, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Every one of them that's listed is sold. But none of them is sold for the more expensive. Well, yeah, because that's completed. You know what? We're going to go with $169.95. Why look a gift horse in the mouth? Do you agree with that, Bill McCracken?
Yeah. Hey, if that's the way you feel, that's what you feel. It looks like something easy to ship and easy. So
I'm wanting railroad pickers. I'm wanting his professional opinion.
I put $199.99 on that.
$199.90, $199.95. It's like you can see the Hulk Hogan coming out. Railroad Picker must really like.
What are you talking about, brother? We don't do that type of stuff here.
Brother.
We're here to take your money. Look down in the description below.
Hey, when do we get to see Railroad Picker in the bathtub with no shirt on?
That's some page area. I don't do that yet.
Hey,
maybe when I get my 1,000 subscribers and I get monetized, I
want to see Railroad Picker in a bathtub filled with water and some bubbles with some candles and a railroad hat with maybe like a choo-choo train engine like sitting on the side of the tub. That would be viral.
Do you happen to sell anything that's like railroad related, or do you collect stuff that's railroad related?
No, and see, there's one Paige, and I think even John thinks that I should probably change my channel to the Railroad Reseller. And honestly, I know nothing about railroads.
Yeah, that's going to be that would be the problem. Like somebody's going to be like, "What's your favorite type of engine?" And you're going to be like, "A 350 Chevy, a 4-bolt main." Oh, you mean train engine?
Yeah, I really know nothing about railroads and stuff. The only thing was Paige came up with something. He wanted us to do something fun, to put on the end of his videos. So I was literally walking around the house and I seen that one of those engine hats. So I thought, what about, the Railroad Reseller? And then he'd be some obnoxious, guy that just wants to take everybody's money, and that's where it kind of grew from. But to be honest with you, I know like this much about railroads,
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what kind of scares me, like I would, because I'm like, hopefully most people that I'm talking to, I like to be the real thing, if I'm having slow sales for the week, I'm having slow sales for the week. I'm not going to make it up like I'm it's booming through the roof. It's what bothers me more than anything is somebody always acts like they're booming through the roof. How is it that you always boom through the roof?
What you need is a alternate channel. You can create another channel called the Railroad Reseller, and you can have fun over there and do whatever you want. And then what you do is that you have two channels and you completely keep them separate, but you do crossovers. Like sometimes you show up on the Railroad Resellers channel and be like, I don't know about that. And you like shoot it like you're standing here, like having a conversation. And then you come over here and you're having a conversation. And then you edit to where it looks like you're talking to yourself.
Like John does.
It's a lot of work, but I think it'd be funny. The gimmick would pay off, as they say in wrestling. The gimmick would pay off.
Yeah. You know what you could do is you could be like the Railroad Picker one, and then you could do another channel called the Real Railroad Picker, and then just beef with each other back and forth. But like you're railroading me. No, I'm railroad.
His favorite engine is Thomas the train.
Toot,
such a hot seller.
That can be in my next $99 pack that I do next time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I if I was good at giving advice on YouTube, I wouldn't be sitting around here talking to you guys. I'd be hanging out with Harry Tomato.
He'd have 100,000 subs already.
Woo! From your ears, from my mouth to your, I don't know, something like that. Jason Static got all the subs. But
I'm gonna say something nice about, because I said what I've said about Kevin. I'm gonna say something really nice about Kevin. I think Kevin should start a history channel. I think use his perspective of history and his history teacher stuff, because I always like that stuff. And I think Kevin can grow a huge history channel. Yeah, am I the only one that sees that?
I have absolute like I don't care what he does. I think I just don't have no problem with The only person in the reselling community that I just don't like, and I don't even feel that strong about him anymore. And that's the one fella from Louisiana. But like, as far as anyone else, like my problem, I don't want to get into because my problem that I had with the guy that I didn't like is that he was the guy that had problems with everything that everyone else was doing. And I'm like, I don't care. But then if someone has a problem with someone, I'm like, that's cool.
Well, I hope to say I don't really have a problem with it. It irks me that everything's about not helping people. I'm here to help people, and not check out this and do this and
Oh, Pat D's.
Everything's a beef.
I don't want to. I'm done fighting. I've been on YouTube making videos for so long to where I just don't want to. I want to get along. I like the climate of the community right now, where you've got like the Trash to Cash podcast, and you've got the new the what's the podcast with Shane in it? I'm having a brain fart. I have ADHD, so I can't remember stuff. It's not that they're not relevant. They're funny and they're great guys. I just can't remember the name of it. But there's like 4 or 5 different podcasts. Everyone kind of gets along. There's no real there's not really a lot of problems. I'm not looking for beef with anybody. I don't want to be that guy. I can tell you because I love you. I think you're a great guy, Chris. Like having that it's just no way to do YouTube. Like, because it's what I found is that here's the deal. If you know Jason Static's a no good dirty dog, but every one of his subscribers just absolutely loves him, no matter what you say, they're still going to love him. They're still going to love him.
I agree with.
Yeah, they're still going to love him. And you know what they're going to do? It's objectification. It's object worship. They're going to turn on you. They're gonna say you're causing trouble. You're the troublemaker, and it just sucks. Like even if it is a person that's not good. I think Kevin's truly a good-hearted person, but like some of the other people in the community weren't. I sat in the backs because I used to be backstage with these people, and I would hear what they would say. I'd see what they would say, and they weren't good people. Now, a lot of those people aren't in the community anymore. They've moved on, but I don't know. You're not going to change people's minds. I've tried to get Jason Static to sell fish skinners for 25 years, and he still won't do it.
Right? No, like one of my things is like, even in the especially like since I'm in the wrestling world more than I am in the reselling world right now, like there's so much beef and problems in like the local wrestling scene here that I don't want to have nothing to do with it. I don't want any of my trainees to have anything to do with it because it doesn't really help elevate anybody. You know what I mean? And when we're talking about beef, like especially on YouTube, like this right here, those comic books right there, it's by a new comic book company called the Rippaverse. And you would think by the beef and all of the people making videos about this guy that he would be like literally the spawn of Satan, is how they talk about this guy. And the worst thing that he's ever done is created this comic book to these people because he's doing it completely different. He's not doing it how the mainstream's doing it. He's not doing it how the independent scene's doing it. He's doing it all by himself. He's his own distributor. He's his own supplier. He's his own publisher, and he's 100% independent with it, and people hate him for it. And there's literally thousands of hours of live streams of people just sitting here talking smack on him, and he barely ever responds to any of them. To me, like John said, and somebody in the chat said, like, the beef don't pay your bills.
Well, let me ask you something on the whole wrestling front. So I got a friend that's been doing a little bit of wrestling independent wise.
Mhm.
We have Jimmy the Boogie Wuggy Man Valiant in my area.
Oh yeah,
He has a school,
Great
and this person went to that school and went to the train and stuff. And I try to tell him, because we have tons of local events around here, and I tell him to get on those cards, because even if he loses matches, am I thinking wrong here? Let me run this by you. I tell him to get on those cards, that way people see you, and even if you lose matches, people will start following you. But when you don't wrestle at all, who's seeing you?
Right. What I tell my guys is, like, first you got to have a good essentially you got to have a good rapport, like with people. Like some every show's different, you know what I mean? It's like there's a company here, PWE, the promoter of that show, he likes guys to show up. If you're a new guy and you've never wrestled before, or you've only had a handful of matches at places, he wants you to show up to his show. He'll talk to you. If he likes your gimmick, and he thinks you could be used on his show, and you help out with that night's show, whether it be helping set up, pick up chairs, sell merch for somebody or something like that, he might potentially book you. But then there's other guys where there's other companies where they need the help and they need the people. So most likely, if you go there, they'll book you no matter what. So, like, sometimes it's just a matter of showing up and building rapport with people. Like I've got a guy who's getting ready to debut on the 6th, I think it is, at a company, and he showed up to the promoter's place. He showed up to a handful of promotions around the area. He's helped set up. They've gone there early. They've done seminars and stuff like that, and he's got a rapport with people now. And because what I tell people is, like, I can only help you so much. At some point in time, you have to get out there and start doing it yourself. So, like, if a promoter calls me and messages me and he's like, "Hey, I want to use one of your guys," then I'll be like, "Okay, which one?" Blah 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 blah. But I don't actively go out and seek promotions for my guys to work at. That's kind of the learning process that you need to do. But you're right. If you're not on shows and you're not wrestling, you're not getting anywhere. And it's just like YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, if you're not putting out consistent content, if you're not capturing the audience's what that audience member wants, then they most likely is not going to pay attention to you. You're not going to get booked. They're not going to watch your content. So wrestling and YouTube is very similar. Like, you have to be able to catch the audience's, feelings. For me, wrestling is an emotional sport. So, like, if you don't emotionally affect me in some way, shape, or form, then I'm not really going to pay much attention to you. I might say, yeah, this guy's a good wrestler, but he doesn't catch me here in this point. But maybe down the road he can, if he actually tries and gives me a little bit more passion and emotion and character. But for wrestling, yeah, like, you got to get out there. If you're not getting out there, you're doing it wrong. Sometimes, whether you win or lose, like, whether you're winning or losing, if you're doing something, if the crowd's reacting to what you did, whether you win or lose, you're doing something good.
Yeah, because he makes fun of a guy that doesn't necessarily don't look the best, but he's wrestling probably one of the best looking women in our area, and he's wrestling her he's wrestled her 3 or 4 times or so, and he's probably lost to her. I haven't been to the events, let's just say, but let's just say for the sake that he's losing to her. But I said, he's getting out there. He's at those events, and people are seeing what he is willing to do. You're not doing anything, is what I told him. You're sitting down there at Boogie's camp and thinking that somehow somebody's just going to discover you, going to come down there to the camp and discover you, and it's just not going to happen like that.
Yeah, you got to get out there. Like, if you have 15 shows in your area, this is hypothetical. Like, if you have 15 shows in your area, you should try to at least be on 2 or 3 of them. at any given time. As long as you're not double booking yourself, and as long as the companies play nice with each other, because sometimes companies don't play nice with each other. Like if you work for this company, you can't work for me type stuff, like because they have beef with each other. But that's something I try to tell my guys to stay out of, is depending on what level you want to be at. Like to me, there's different levels in wrestling. You got your backyarder guys who just want to have fun with their friends in the backyard. Okay, cool. You can go do that all you want to. And then you have your local guy who just stays and wrestles for one company. That's cool. That's a different level. And then you have your guys who actually get out and travel to different companies, might travel within 60 to 70, 80 miles of their home. And, they make a big circle around it. And then you have your full-time wrestlers who travel around the world and do it for a career but aren't signed. And then you have all your signed talent. If you want to get to the last level, which is level 5 of being a signed talent on a show that's paying you big bucks, you've got to get out there. You've got to travel. You've got to network with people. Wrestling's all about networking. It's kind of like YouTube again. You got to network with people sometimes to build a channel. Unfortunately, sometimes you got to do, make a video with somebody sometimes, that has a little bit more clout than you. And that's how you build rapport with people, is you're like, oh yeah, like this guy listens. He'll do whatever he's asked to do. He doesn't complain. He doesn't bitch about it. He doesn't try to big time people. He doesn't have an ego. Like that's one of the things I tell the guys is like, if you got an ego, like I'm going to kill that thing super quick, because, it's not going to work for you. Like I got one of my trainees in the chat, Triple T, Tornado Terry, and he knows, like, if you can't have an ego with me, like if I'm training you and you go to places, you can't have an ego, because I'll cut your legs out from under you quicker than you can think.
He'll cut your pecker off, Terry. Don't let him.
That too. But yeah, no, like you do got to get out there and hustle and work and grind and network with people, build as much knowledge, gain as much knowledge as you can. That's another thing, is being smart about the business too, because it's not just about getting in there and wrestling. It's about actually knowing what to do, when to do it, what not to do, knowing the crowd that you're at. Because like there's an old school company in my area called SICW. It's all old school guy. They're trained in an old school fashion of wrestling. They love old school wrestling. That crowd loves the old school wrestling. So if you get in there, if you go to that show and you're doing all kinds of flips and high spots and, wild and crazy stuff, they're not going to like it. And you'll get booed out of the building. Whereas if you go 30 minutes down the road, you go to a company called PWE, and you do all that crazy and wild stuff, and they're going to love it. You got to know, and you got to know that by actually paying attention to what the local shows are doing in the area. You got to pay attention to what the crowd likes in the area. So there's a lot that you got to learn, and you can only learn that if you're going to the shows.
Well, he's a bigger guy, and I always recommended to him, just do the basic 101 stuff. The fireman's carry, just simple moves, the suplexes and the slams and that type of stuff. The leg drop, the big leg drop.
I had one of my guys. He just recently went to a tryout. It was a seminar plus a tryout, and the guy that was running the tryout and the seminar is named Sammy Callahan, and he's a kind of a higher up on the indie scene. He wrestled for WWE for a couple of years in NXT, and he has his own wrestling company called Wrestling Revolver up in Ohio, and it's one of the more popular ones in the indie scene. And so my guy got beat out. He got picked second next to a guy who had been wrestling for 7 years and who got trained by Seth Rollins. So my guy who got trained by me, I'm relatively a nobody in wrestling. Like, I didn't have a huge name, didn't wrestle in any of the huge companies. I was just a local guy, but I happened to travel around and got to know a lot of people both old and young. So that was where I got better, is because I knew a lot of people, and I could gain a lot more knowledge from people. So like, anyways, like my guy, he went out to this tryout, and there was like 25, maybe 30 guys on the tryout. All of these guys had been wrestling for a year more, up to 7 years. They'd been wrestling, and my guy, who's wrestling for 7 months, got picked over all of these guys. You know, and all I tell these guys to do is do the basics. If you can do the basics extremely well, body slam, hip toss, fireman's carry, leg drop, clothesline, and you can tell a good story and you sell extremely well, especially as a big guy. You know, if you're a big guy, 200, 300, 250, 280, 300 pounds, learn how to sell, because that's what's going to make you look good, is you selling for the small guys, or other big guys. Like selling and being able to do the basics are my main thing that I show guys. Is if you can sell and make shit look believable, that's what people really want. Is they want to believe that it's real, even though they know it's not real. So if you can sell, like if I punch you, and like if I punch you on this side of your face, and you sell to me like that, then you're selling the wrong way, right? You got to have a good facial expression, and all kinds of stuff. So like if you sell well and you bump well and you have a good story, you'll get booked all over the place. That's why a lot of my guys are getting booked, is because they can sell. They're good with the really all you need. You don't need
someone like, if you look at someone like Mankind, who doesn't have a physique, but his gimmicks, they're always top notch. And he looks like somebody that just walked in off an indie card. That was always my thing with him when I was younger, why I was like, man, I don't know if I like this guy. He looks like my Uncle Harry, but one of the greatest wrestlers ever graced the ring.
Well, I watched a documentary on him. The thing I thought was cool was, like, one time for an independent show, he drove like 9 hours for $10. 9 hours to just wrestle a match for $10. It, of course, wasn't about the money. It was about getting himself out there. Yeah. And he actually left WCW. He left a lucrative contract with WCW in the 94, 95 era to chase after what ended up being the ECW stuff. That's what he could have stayed safe and still made good money, but he decided that wasn't him.
Yeah, but I mean, how long is a guy like that going to last? I mean, without becoming a superstar, like wrestling Undertaker and getting slammed through the top of the cage, and like I was telling Jason, we watched the In Your House 1996 Buried Alive match between him and Taker. Like he was willing to go out there and put his body on the line because he was so passionate about it. And to me, that's why he's one of my favorite wrestlers. But I also like Taker because he's the same way. I mean, the dude he had a crazy career.
Yeah, like the furthest I ever went, like I went to Mount Airy, I think in North Carolina.
That's not far from me.
Yeah. We went there. I can't remember the name of the company that I wrestled for, but we went there. I wasn't even guaranteed a spot on the card. But one of the guys that trained me, he was on the card, and he's like, just get in the car and we'll see about getting you booked. If not, if you don't get booked, at least you'll make some connections with people where you could potentially get booked. And I was like, okay, cool. So I rode, it was 12 hours. I worked 12 hours in a car to Mount Airy. And then we got to the spot early the morning of the show. And we went to a couple of malls and walked around and wasted a little bit of time. Went and got something to eat. And then we went to the show, and the promoter ended up liking me, and I got booked in the show, but I didn't even get paid for the show because all like I got paid, but all the money that I got paid went to the gas to get us home.
Right.
So I essentially worked for free. But the cool thing about that show is there was another guy on that show who was from Pennsylvania, and I became friends with him at the show, and we got to talking on social media. And later on, about a year or two later, when I moved to Pennsylvania, me and him actually formed a tag team, and we did a little bit of stuff up there before I ended up retiring completely. So like I made connections by going to shows, and sometimes not even being guaranteed being on the show, just showing up, so sometimes that's good. Like I try to tell my guys, like, don't do that as much as I did, because like I was stupid back then, and I didn't have a lot of guys telling me the right way to do it.
Right.
Like make sure that you have money, make sure you do this, make sure you try to do this. So like I didn't have a guy that would really guide me in that direction of being able to actually make money in wrestling. They were just like, oh yeah, go out there and do it, just get on a show, whether you're getting paid or not. Nowadays, there's so many shows, on a, like in this area, there's shows every single weekend that you could be on, so you don't have to wrestle for free anymore. Sometimes you could if you want to, but I tell my guys, don't work for free if you don't have to.
Right.
If it's something that's going to get you a really good opportunity, like say if there's a big name there, and they're like, like WWE, they used to send out scouts to shows years and years and years ago. Like if that's the type of thing, or say like there's a TNA guy going to be there, an AEW guy there, like a talent scout type thing, then maybe if you can get on it, try to do that, because you never know. But like, don't go out and work for free if you don't have to. What do you got there, Johnny boy?
A headlight.
Do you know what it's to?
No. But I got two of them.
Better than
Looks
one.
like something old. It looks like 40s or 30s or 40s type car. The big,
like an old
big
truck
eyes.
or something. Yeah. I sell them as rat rods. I
Yeah.
don't really know what they fit, but I'll list it as a rat rod item.
Yeah, I think that's something important, and it's something I need to focus on more too. Is be creative more in my listing, not just call this a iPhone holder here. Let me see if I can get this an iPhone holder. You need to come up with something that, something else. I was talking about one of my videos recently about, I think pets supplies and clothing and all that's going to be something that just continues to trend up. And I think, maybe in kids' clothing or something like that, maybe if you can find something that crosses over with pets or something, where you getting those search type things, I think that could help your item sell. Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah. Thanks, Pat D, for the 97-cent donation. That's awesome. I won't send you an autograph because it's going to cost me that 97 cents to process that. But I appreciate you, Pat D's. Thank you, buddy.
Pat D's. Pat D's knows all the big YouTubers.
Yeah. Pat D's
is a personal friend with Taco Stacks.
Didn't Pat D's and Taco Stacks do a video together?
I believe they had a baby.
Oof. Pat D's, did you have a baby with Taco Stacks?
Ooh.
Well, hey, John, since there's so many of you in the St. Louis area, why don't y'all do some kind of resellers convention stuff?
It's a good idea, but
you just don't want to really hang out with me. I know.
I don't want to have to. If Paige wants to put it together, he's the superstar. I don't even want to mess with those.
You know,
Off to the
and that's
trash.
another person I'm gonna give a shout out. Paige has been so good to me too. You know, Paige has been real good to me. You know, helping me with my channel and everything too. And you know, I can't certain people I just can't think enough. You know, and those people I'm grateful to. You know,
Right. There's a lot of great people in the community right now. And the thing is that you got to realize is that some of these people are going to be rock stars and they're going to take off and they're going to do really good. And some of us like me will always be one of them little guys that it's the pointer. It's like, keep going. You're doing a good job. But
yeah. But there are people that have 100,000 subscribers that are nowhere near selling $100,000 of stuff on eBay a year. John,
no, but here's the thing you got to learn about YouTube. If people wanted to, if people really cared about reselling, the reselling channels like Flipping Ain't Easy and guys like that, they'd be at 100,000. And then the people that are out there like, hey, I see you got this headlight rod here. You got $10 on it. Would you take 3? You know, those guys would be laughed out of the community. But that's what people want. They want to see that. They're like, oh man, look at that. They're living vicariously through the people that are out yard selling and stuff like that. And I don't record where I go buy stuff from because I have too much local competition, and they'd all be out there. Like next week I'd show up and there'd be 10 people there going, hey John, thanks for letting us know where you're buying your stuff from.
Pat D's got it right here, man. He goes 100. He goes YouTube income 400,000, reselling 20,000. They don't care.
And the people don't care because there's people out there that make me look like a chump, like the Pat's buddy that Mr. Buys a Lot. That dude living up to that name. He's probably one of the best buyers in all of YouTube. And he can't get anyone to come watch him. Oh, he can. That sounds horrible, but he's not huge. But he should be. He can have my subs.
you earned yours the hard way, John. Now come on, now don't give them away.
I've been working on them for a while. Yankee Metal Products. Huh? How about that? Let's look that up. I honestly don't care about like to be like I quit really because I can tell you that nine out of 10 people on YouTube are only going to find friends, and those are the luckiest 9 people ever. The people that that do the people that just find fame, then you don't know who likes you. You don't know. Because it's for some reason it's like, oh my God, look at that Chris. He's got 300,000 people on some platform that follow him. You at the end of the day, you don't, when you're at the bottom, if someone reaches out to you, it's because they truly care about you as a person.
Well, yeah, I mean, last year at this time, I had 35 subscribers, and that's some rough times, I think, because you do videos and you're like you don't hear nothing, nobody comments, no nothing, it just
right.
That's something I've been trying to get people to do more, like especially in our little in my little wrestling clique that I have, and then even with John, like I've been trying to go on John's videos as much as I can and comment as much as I can, whether it be just one comment, two comments. Like I think there was one video, I don't remember what the video was, where I had like 6 comments on there, and I timestamped where I was talking at or what I was referencing, so he would be able to be like, okay, I know what he's talking about now. And because like one thing about social media is like it's the algorithm does tend to feed people more to more areas if there's more engagement on their platform. So that if you could, the more you talk to people, or the more people's talking in your comment sections and having conversations and liking and sharing and stuff like that, the more that whether it's going to be YouTube or Facebook or anything like that, the more your algorithm's going to hit. Or the more you're going to be able to get hit up in the algorithm. It's not going to necessarily mean that you're going to get big or anything like that, but that's on you to be able to keep the audience if you do happen to get pushed. And you got to do that with personality and character and likability, and or maybe
you can just go and spend all that time buying stuff and selling it on eBay and still make a shit ton of money. Like, think of all the people out there that are just making content on YouTube for free. Like, you're just not doing it. You're not.
Yeah. John or Pat D says, I went live with JJ, got him the most super chats, and he never bought me a pizza.
I gave you a kiss though.
Oof.
Right on the cheek, patty cakes. Pat
did make a good thing. He goes, only 1% of the YouTubers hit gold. The rest of it, the rest is everybody. The rest, is going to be in the 99%.
Yeah, I think I told Paige one time. I looked up some stats. I think only 2% of YouTubers have over 10,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all of us down at the bottom, really more so than we think.
Yeah. I have a friend that she's got over 1 million subscribers, sweet girl. And I told her, I said, you realize that how crazy it is for you to have 1 million? She goes, I realize it. And I go, 30, most people will never see the success on YouTube that she's seeing. And all she does is they built a little cabin that's probably as long as my building here is wide. And she goes in there. And she does 1820s cooking. And she's got 1 million subscribers.
She lives over in my neck of the woods. That place is right down the street from where I work at.
What is?
That building that she does her videos in. It's right down the street from where I work at.
She has her own little cabin out in the woods. She does some stuff in some of the other older buildings over there. But I think they have their own cabin. If you watch her videos, it's set out in the woods somewhere, I think.
The only thing about around me is there's a science teacher I used to have. He's got like 40,000 subscribers, but that's the only thing I've got around me is a science teacher. And that's why I said I think Kevin would do really well with a History Channel type thing, where he just picks a history topic and goes with it. Because this guy, he goes outside and just goes out in his yard or a park or somewhere, or he's even went down he'll be at the beach and he'll find some kind of bug or critter or something and talk about it. And, people always want to learn.
Teachers do really good. A teacher does really good because they get a lot of practice to learn how to talk to people.
Right, the public speaking thing. They know presentation too. They know how to present their topic. They've had to do it time and time again. And if you can get through to a 13-year-old, getting through to a YouTube audience can't be that much harder.
Right.
That's my opinion, and that may be the wrongest thing in the world. But I think if you can get through to a 13-year-old, you deserve a gold trophy.
But if you look at most of the people that are really good at YouTube, they've had jobs, or they're good communicators or something.
Yeah.
Or they're a sociopath.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Hey, Jason Static, let me ask you this question as far as big time wrestlers. Have you met any big time wrestler that was just absolutely a dick? I've got one, but go ahead and tell me who you think.
No, everybody that I've ever talked to that's like big name guys, I've never had any issues with anybody really. It's the guys that I've had issues with are the no name guys. Most of the big name people that I've met never had problems with any of them. And I've met Earl, Dave Hebner, Scott Steiner, Nikita Koloff.
Yeah, Nikita actually done preaching.
I've met tons of Batista. I've met all kinds of people, and I've never had any problem with any of them.
Yeah, nobody's actually preaches in my area sometimes. Mm-hmm. So, because he's from the Charlotte area, which is only like 2 hours south of me. But Nikita has preached in my area before, so him and Ted DiBiase and some of those guys. Yeah. But the only guy that really, and he wasn't towards me necessarily, and it's probably what they were doing to him that made him this way. But Hardcore Holly was at my local racetrack racing one time, and he wasn't the nicest guy to get along with. Yeah. But they may have stuck him there. You've got a race, and that wasn't really his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To give him a little bit of, I'm stabbing him in the heart, but I'm not going to stab him all the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've heard he was difficult, but I've never had any dealings with it. I've never met him or anything like that. Like most of the people I've ever had problems with, it's always guys that you wouldn't, that shouldn't have had the ego, but for some reason they do. I remember I met Rhino one time. He was at a show that I was at, and for some reason the athletic commission wouldn't let him wrestle. So he was annoyed and upset and mad about it, and because he was booked on the show and he was advertised, and he was mad that he wasn't going to be able to, participate now because of the athletic commission. And he felt like he was mad that he let down the crowd. So he was aggressive that night, but not towards people, but he was angry about it. So even when even with all of that, he was still nice and cordial to me. I've been on shows with Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. Those guys were nice to me. I was on a show once with Billy Gunn's dad, Bullet Bob Armstrong. Or not Billy Gunn, but Road Dogg's dad, Bullet Bob. He was really nice. I wrestled Tracy Smothers once. He was really nice.
Now the Rock and Roll Express is a big deal in my area. They still come through and do stuff. I've met them guys a couple times, and they both, those guys have always been nice to everybody, sign everybody. Ricky and Robert both have been.
Yeah, they got a school down in Tennessee. It's I think it's 4 or 5 hours away from me. And their kid, Carrie's, Ricky Morton, his son's wrestling right now. Kerry Morton, he's doing real well. He's out in the scene wrestling all around.
Well, let me ask you along those lines. Who of those, the children of wrestlers, who do you think is going to make it out of that bunch? There's Arn's kid, there's Flying Brian's kid out there. Who do you think is going to make it out of that bunch? Or or what did you think about the Von Erichs? There's 2 new Von Erich kids wrestling.
Oh, those I love those guys. Those guys are solid in the ring. those guys, and they go all over the world. I think they're wrestling over in Japan a lot. So, I mean, to me, it really depends on like, I don't know, like it depends on what you're talking about success. Like, you know, like if you're talking about getting to WWE and WrestleMania and everything like that, like that's hard because that's kind of like YouTube, you know. Only 1% of people are ever going to make it to WWE. And yeah, you can have parents and, you know, mothers and fathers been in the business, but you're not guaranteed to get anywhere. You know, look at DiBiase's kids. You know, they didn't reach the star power that he had.
And they both look like $1 million.
Yeah. You
I
know,
mean,
so,
I'm not just saying that because his money thing. I mean, they both had the look and everything. They both could wrestle. You know, it's just and early on between him and Cody, if you asked me who's going to make it between him and Cody, I would have picked Ted DiBiase's son over Cody.
Yeah. Pat just said Ray's son Dom. If anybody's going to be like a future big time star, and that's currently already in the WWE system, I would say Dom because he's killing it.
Yeah, he has great heel heat.
Yeah.
You know, people just love to hate him, and that's hard to capture.
Yeah.
In today's world, everybody wants to be everybody's friend. You know what I mean? And it's the hardest thing, in my opinion, is to be a heel now, a real heel.
Yeah. And then you got like Brian Pillman's son. He just got signed to NXT, and I think he debuted over there in NXT a couple weeks ago. So I'm interested to see what he does, because he's kind of like, I don't know him personally, but I got friends of friends, you know, that are friends with him. So like I'm interested to see what he's doing or going to be doing. But like, I mean, there's so many like, there's different ways to succeed in wrestling now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, I'm interested in seeing guys who are able to, you know, do things outside of the WWE system, because WWE, to me, even though they're all the same thing, it's two different worlds. You know, like you got the WWE system, and then you have all of wrestling everywhere else. You know, like WWE's like the mecca, the biggest, you know, platform that you're ever going to have. You know, that would be like getting 100 million subs on YouTube. You know, you might be able to get 1 million, but getting that 100 million is going to be hard. You know, so like but like if you can get to like New Japan, wrestle in Mexico, travel around the world. Like I got a guy I know, he's a local guy, but he did a tour of Japan. He did a tour of England, you know, the Europe last year, or this year in 2023. So like, to me, that's succeeding also, you know what I mean? So like, you got to be able to, there's other ways that you can succeed. Like you take Zack Ryder, for instance. He left when he got fired from WWE before the pandemic. You know, he was just kind of like your everyday guy. He wasn't really a huge name. He was a huge name he was a big name in WWE, and everybody knew who he was, but he wasn't really doing anything. You know what I mean? And he was getting paid decent, but then when he left WWE, he's making more money now on the independent scene. He's wrestling more now than he ever was in WWE. And he's totally reinvented himself. He's got a podcast. He's got a toy line. He's got an action figure line where he sells all kinds of action, you know, wrestling figures, not just of himself, but other indie wrestlers. You know, he's got a really booming podcast about wrestling, you know, collectibles and stuff like that. So he's doing really well for himself, and he's booked he wrestles every single weekend, multiple times a week, makes thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on merchandise. So like he's succeeding right now, even more than what he was when he was in WWE. So like
Right.
that's a different type of success. And if you can get that, you know, some of the guys that are sons and daughters of older guys, Kerry Morton, which is Ricky Morton's son, I think he signed with NWA right now. And I think he's their last time I seen, he was their cruiserweight champion, their light heavyweight champion, and he's doing real well. You got the Von Erichs, they're doing really well. You got Jacob Fatu, he's doing incredibly well. Who's whose kid is he? I can't.
You know who else is doing incredibly well?
Who?
Me. I just sold a $400 knife.
Nice, John. Good job.
That should put me. That should be. I got that from Jason Deason. Jason Deason, I want to tell you thank you. I appreciate you selling me your stuff.
Is Jacob Fatu.
I feel like I'm in the middle of a wrestling podcast. I think you and Chris are going to be best friends because you both like wrestling, and you love it. I like it, but I like indie wrestling. I want to go see these guys wrestle that are they just love it. They're out there. I want to see like Dynamo Wrestling. I want to support all the local. I wish Jason would quit his fucking job, become a real reseller, and then we could just every weekend. It's like, what are we doing, Jason? Oh, we got to go to the auction on Saturday morning, and then Saturday evening we're getting in the car and we're driving 2 hours over here to go watch some wrestling.
Are you going to go with me on the 6th to Pacific?
I probably will. The problem is that I need to get a van because it isn't just my whole family likes fucking wrestling. Like it's all of them except for Noah. Like, I don't know.
Jason,
But
do you
like
think you could get a bigger drawing being an independent wrestling channel opposed to trying to be a resale channel?
Wrestling's
this is my first time of talking with you, so
Man, wrestling is tough on YouTube because there's just so much content on wrestling. But like actually, once I get the school opened up again, we're gonna have kind of like I'm gonna do this thing, the reselling thing, and might talk a little bit of wrestling here. But like the other, I have another YouTube channel right now that's solely gonna be for my wrestling stuff. That I'm gonna talk just wrestling there. 100% of the time is gonna be there. So like. But that's going to be a little bit different the way that I'm going to do that. So I have another channel, but I haven't told anybody about it yet. I like the name of it.
It's Wiener Wrestling.
Yeah, Wiener Wrestling.
Wiener Wrestling.
Blow up doll wrestling. You and Kenny Omega. You and Kenny Omega gonna wrestle blow up dolls.
Let me see your Wiener Wrestling.
That was a damn good match with that blow up doll though.
It's all about
like that, like, and funny thing is like that doll, that blow up doll. They actually still to this day do that. There's matches over in Japan with that doll. That doll is a character on their show. They have there's also an invisible character,
right?
Yeah, I've seen that before. That's cool.
Japan's wild, man. They do a bunch of wild stuff over there, but it works for them.
Now, I haven't seen anything recently on him, but what about the guy that the powerful dick thing? He's got the power dick thing.
Oh, you're talking about
Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan, yeah.
He got canceled big time.
Oh, okay.
He was. I don't know the whole story about it, but. Apparently, he was doing some shady, underhanded sexual stuff, and he got canceled. Apparently, with younger people too.
Oh, okay, well then,
so he got canceled really bad, and then he ended up getting a job at he got work. I think he worked at a Disney park or some crap like that, and somebody found out about it, and they blasted him on. They blasted him to all the Disney the Disney company down there, and then he got fired from there too. So like he got his butt stomped, but like apparently it's actually 100% legit, not just kind of like rumor stuff.
Well, if he did it, then good for. I'm glad he got canceled.
Yeah. That's what I don't know for sure, because when I see stuff like that, I just kind of ignore it because it's one of those areas of stuff like I don't want to, because anybody can try to cancel anybody. You say the wrong thing, but like I told him, like I don't know the guy. The guy I've never talked to the guy. I only seen him as a wrestler on the internet. So that's all I really know of him.
Yeah, I got to know him through Jim Cornette talking about him and Jim's hate of him. So I looked him up and I watched the match where he did that, and I didn't know anything more than that.
I seen him wrestle down in Cape, and he was the nastiest. I got hate from other people that was watching. Not hate, but just like they couldn't understand why. I didn't understand why a guy that pulled the lollipop out of his pants and sticking it in some other dude's mouth was totally a put off and disgusting to me. But that was back when wrestling was taking that woke turn. So now I'd be,
like that was why people booked him, like because he was that nasty wrestler. I never really cared for it really. Like
that was his shtick.
Couldn't have good matches. Yeah, he was a decent wrestler.
Yeah, he was a good wrestler. I liked to watch him wrestle, but I didn't like when you grabbed this. Like his gimmick was you would grab his. I couldn't be a wrestler and wrestle him and grab his junk, but he would do that with people, and he'd like flip them, like he'd take his pelvis and he'd go like this, and they'd flip over. But he would do it with men and women, and I'm just like, do you really find it shocking that was the dude's gimmick, and he like ended up being a weirdo pervert?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it's like you don't get both. You don't get to eat your cake and you don't get your cake and eat it too.
Right.
Like you don't get to be like, oh, we're gonna cancel these people, but then like that's the stuff that you guys supported. Like you created that nightmare.
Yeah. That's kind of why I stay out of that stuff whenever that stuff gets to floating around. Because anybody can make up anything they want nowadays.
Jason ain't grabbing anyone's goo. He's all about not doing that.
Yeah, I'm not touching anybody in anywhere.
Nah.
Well, you come up to my house and
you shut your mouth, John Johnson. You trying to get me canceled?
Maybe that's why he doesn't have 10,000 subscribers over 6 years.
Yeah,
let's talk the dirty stuff.
John's foul mouth. He puts on a big act, but he's got a foul little mouth.
Aren't all the televangelists like that?
I don't know. I don't know. I only had one altar. One. I only know of one televangelist, and I didn't really care for her that much. She's not a godly woman. I can say that. She's a mean woman. Oh no, I upset him.
He canceled you. He canceled
himself.
Yeah.
I'm only talking about Joyce Meyer Ministries. I didn't like her.
Yeah.
I lived next to her compound, and the way that she treated people, she treated people horrible.
Well, what I know, like I said, I've watched Nikita preach quite a few times, and from what I know about Nikita Koloff, he seems like the real thing.
Yeah.
I've actually known him for quite a while on the whole preaching thing. I think he got behind a guy for a little while that wasn't completely legitimate, and that guy kind of had to disappear off the scene. That guy claimed to be some ex-mafia guy, and when you actually come to find out, that was just some kind of story, you know, like a wrestling story, you know, wasn't no actuality to his mafia ties and hits and all that. It made him sound cool when he went preach, but there wasn't anything there. But that's not Nikita's fault, you know what I mean? But I've heard him preach since then, and just what I see from him as a whole, he's always been really good with people, really good with fans, and you know, he seems very genuine. You know.
Yeah, I try to be. I try to be genuine with people. Like I got an attitude and a temper on me, but like I try to treat people the way that I want to be treated. You know, but you know, like in particular, like Joyce Meyer, like I lived right across where she does all of her stuff at, like across the street from it. And it was an armed, gated compound. And if you turned around on her property, like, you know, like you got this big compound and then it's gated and there's armed security guards, you know, like, and if you touch the grass on her property, it was an issue. You know, and it's just like, what are you like? We're just walking here, you know, like nobody else had a problem. Yeah, Eric, I lived right next to her compound. No, she's from the St. Louis area.
Yeah, I've never been a big, you know, fan of hers from what I see her preaching wise. It's just even from her preaching wise, she doesn't seem to match up as to what I
rowdy red. Yeah.
My internet decided to take a poop on me.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't have any problem. She's the only person that I've ever had issues with that's like, you know, I don't care for that woman.
Who?
Joyce Meyer.
Oh yeah. You want to? I have a friend that designed her kitchen in St. Louis. Anybody want to guess how much your kitchen cost?
Oh, and my dad did flooring in her house.
Yeah, but you want to guess how much your kitchen cost? If you had to guess,
A lot.
Millions. 1,000.
No.
More.
Millions.
$500,000.
It was her kitchen. He said it was like a couple $1 million for her kitchen.
Yeah. Like I know where she lives. Like I could take you to her house. And I know where her compound is. Like
What do you put in a $2 million kitchen that's, you know, just makes it that way? What?
Right. I don't know, but that's, I mean, granite this and
do you mind the granite right in the middle of the kitchen? Is that?
I think, yeah. 912 feet. I have no idea what this thing is. It's just absolutely insane that they make.
I couldn't sleep at night. You know that? I mean, I don't know how y'all feel. I just couldn't sleep at night taking people's money knowing that it's going to buy my kitchen and not help other people. You know what I mean?
For $5 million, what could you do? When you stand before Jesus one day and Jesus says, hey, remember that $5 million kitchen? Can you explain that to me? Because like you're gonna have to stand in account for that. I mean, we're all gonna stand in account for what we say and do. But I just hate to be a televangelist that misappropriated money from poor people.
Yeah, I mean, how do you take a granny's last $10, or how do you take money from a parent whose kid is dying of cancer?
Yeah,
how do you take that money?
Benny Hinn would do that. People bring their kids to get prayed for, and like, you know, your kid's dying. It's got cancer. You carry your kid in, and his nephew, he came out of it, and he went to a different denomination and became a preacher. and he would say they'd wave them on. That they would have to go out and they'd pick the ones that they could, they could heal.
Right.
But I don't know. I hate it. But people believe so hard.
And just like resellers, you can't go talk about these people. There's people who love Benny Hinn that if you say the word, I don't like Benny Hinn, he's phony. I mean, they will defend him to the end of time. There's people that I guarantee you that, would get mad here at Jason over saying Joyce Myers, the things about Joyce. We could have pictures. We could have pictures. We could have live video of her kitchen and the fact that it cost $2 million. And there's people that would still defend her till,
That's her house right there.
Yeah, now you see why her kitchen cost $2 million because it's probably that whole building, part of that building.
Yeah.
Go to heaven, dear God. If I
that's
go to hell, it's because I deserve it. But
compound.
Now, does she have a mega church there in St. Louis, or?
Yeah, she's got a mega church.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I've only watched her a few times, and she just really turned me off. So I'm not going to waste my time with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I get you. You find old Joyce Myers. You call her Juicy Joyce, huh?
Yeah, well, that's
Juicy Joyce Myers.
That's on another channel.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you though. I think
that's the real reseller after midnight channel.
That's right. That's the after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People who you could abuse a lot of stuff, but are you dumb? Like, if you're abusing religion, like, do you not believe in the religion that you're, like, you're going to get justice? Like, that there's justice coming for you. God's not.
But do you think that they tell their stories so much that they start believing their own no nonsense? Or do you just think, you know what I mean?
I wish I could answer that, because that's went through my mind for so many years. Like, as a person who was a part of a cult, I understand why people believe what they believe, but I don't understand why people want to be I just don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think that the people who follow those people love those people more than they do God. Or they think they're doing God's will by following those people. I think that whenever Jesus says, "Depart from me, I knew you not," that some of those people are the kind of people that he's talking about.
And, I come from a big background of church going and stuff like that. My mother's big into church going. And my mom generally has a tradition of falling in love with the pastor more so than the religion itself.
Right.
She'll go to a church for a while and she'll defend that pastor to the end of time. And then something will happen. She'll go somewhere else. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ends up, she likes the pastor more so than she does the person.
This is her compound right here.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And you got a trailer park here. And she owns all of this. Like all of this tree line and all the way up here. That fence. The place is huge. And I lived right here. In this area. at one time years ago.
Jason would go over there and he'd be Joyce Myers. Joyce Myers.
No,
Let me give you my last $10.
Here's my $10 I was going to use to buy me milk at school in the morning, but I know you need it. You're doing the Lord's work out here, Joyce.
You need an extra knob on your kitchen door.
Them 14 karat gold knobs.
yeah. Here's a great picture. No, wrong one.
Looks like some UN ambassador place, you know?
Yeah. All the flags.
Joyce Myers.
Look what the Lord has done.
Look what the Lord has done. He healed my body. He touched my mind. He saved me, oh, just in time.
Hey, John, look at this, John, right there.
Each day just the same. What are we looking?
Brad Relics is the most awesome person.
Thank you. Come on and praise him. Look what the Lord has done.
What you scratching on?
Huh?
What you scratching on there?
I think it's a tailgate thing for a Ford pickup truck. I can only afford a Chevy, so somebody praise him. Look what the Lord has done.
10:30. It's almost time for you to go home, isn't it, John?
Almost.
What do you
Phil?
stay till midnight?
Phil, you still here?
I appreciate you letting me come on like this.
Oh, anytime, man. I'm gonna start streaming on probably Thursday nights up until we get the new gym going, and then I'm gonna try to figure out a different time. But I used to go live every Thursday years ago when I was going hot and heavy with YouTube. And then
unfortunately I work second shift most of the time, so I have a hard time getting on shows unless I'm off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What time do you get off on your second shift?
1:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah, usually 9.5 hours. We start around 3:30 to like 1:30. It's really a pain when you go yard selling the next Saturday morning. And you got bed at 2, and you get up at 6 to go yard selling.
That's dedication.
And then after that, they'll make you work mandatory Saturdays. So I'll yard sell from like 7 to noon because I get up at 6, but I gotta, shower and stuff or do something. And so I'll yard sell from 7 to noon, and then I go work 8-hour shifts. So sometimes I have 19-hour Saturdays. They're crazy. I hate them.
There ain't no way. There ain't no way I'd be saying I ain't going.
But I love my yard sales. That's my blood.
Yeah, I feel you, brother.
do you get a lot of is there a lot of yard sale stuff around there?
Oh yeah, and directly in the Christiansburg area, it's not. I mean, sometimes it's pretty good, but if you head towards Roanoke, which would be exactly between me and Kevin, Roanoke,
Right.
There's pretty good there. Roanoke's about 100,000 population, so we have pretty good down that way. And see, I'm nestled between two college communities. I have Virginia Tech on one side of me, which is like 32,000 students.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Rapper University, which is another 10,000 students on the other side of me. So my big key, honestly, is if I could get just a portion of that student stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, I do dumpster diving. I do. It's on my, I do some shorts on YouTube. But that's where I'd really like to get, if I could just get a taste of the college kid stuff, man, that would, because they throw away the greatest stuff. You wouldn't believe the stuff they throw away.
Mm-hmm. Have you done any storage unit type stuff?
No, I've never went there.
Mm. That's something I think I would want to do if I had more time.
Yeah, I want to do. I haven't done storage unit, and I used to do auction stuff, but my auction people, a couple of them died, so it's all online now. So we don't have the little nice box lot stuff. But there are people that have auctions, but it's like Wednesdays. And working a regular job, man, it's tough. It's hard enough to go yard selling, but to go like a auction on a Wednesday, that really makes it tough.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to cry me a river, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand. It's doing multiple things, especially having 2 jobs and stuff like that, plus doing this. It's hard sometimes. That's something that I wish my trainees would understand. Like, I'm like, I got a full-time job, plus I do this reselling thing, plus I help you guys. Like, like, chill sometimes, guys. No, I haven't seen the Iron Claw yet. I haven't seen it.
I've heard great reviews of it.
Yeah. Have you seen it, Triple T? Did you go see it yet? Yeah, I remember I used to go to storage auctions with my dad and my grandpa when I was younger, like in my early 20s. But I haven't done a storage auction in a long time. I'd like to though.
I went to a couple years ago, and man, the prices were just crazy. It was still going off the whole. This was pre-2020, so but they were still. It was still kind of felt like a Storage Wars influence. The prices were just ridiculous. 5x5s going for $380.
Yeah.
I didn't care. From what I seen, there just wasn't nothing there. It all looked like junk. Maybe I don't have the eyes for it.
Yeah.
But it all looked like junk to me.
Reselling storage lockers is totally different. You got to have a way of getting rid of the smalls, either going to local auctions or setting up a flea market, yard sales. You're not cherry picking. You're not going out buying 1987 Ford F-150 grill inserts for. No, but seriously, it's like you might get some really top dollar stuff out of there, but most likely you're getting pots and pan sets, silverware, households.
See, I can get that. I can get that out of dumpsters. I can get that out of the college kids' dumpsters. They throw away all that junk. The pots and pans and stuff. You actually, one thing about you, John, that somewhere down the line I'd like to do is have my own booth.
Yeah, they do pretty good. Jason does those too.
I think last time I looked, I had like this my sheet right here. $212 for the month.
And just my booth would be, now this is just me thinking, some of my, say like my dumpster dive stuff and some of my leftover eBay stuff that just won't move.
Yeah.
What do y'all put in y'all's, if I can pick your mind a little bit?
I do pop culture stuff in mine. It's pretty much like I said earlier, like pretty much everything that I do and sell is all pop culture related stuff.
Right.
So I sell mostly tapes and video or VCR tapes and DVDs, and like this is my receipt for so far this month. As of like 4 or 5 days ago, I was at $212 for the month, just selling VCR tapes and DVDs. But I just recently started putting a lot more stuff out there, but all still pop culture related stuff. So, I'm wanting to get a bigger booth because right now I don't have enough room in my booth. But yeah.
Chris have to go to the bathroom?
I don't know where he went to.
Uh-oh, there's Jesse.
Where'd you get that Easy E shirt, John?
I bought that at that pop culture place I told you about, the store place.
Where's that? It's in Park Hills.
Yeah, right next to Gamers Bazaar, not Gamers Bazaar, but video game place there in Park Hills in the Kwanzaa hut style building.
Okay. You wanna see a cool 8x10 that I have, John?
Yeah.
Me getting
Is that
chopped.
Pat D's? Is that Pat D's chopping you?
No, it's Bobby D.
You see how it looks like Pat D's though, right?
Bobby D chopping me.
Oh. Hello, my darling.
My new place the new place, whenever we get it, we're gonna have pictures up. Oh, Jason Static getting ready.
Oh boy.
There used to be this little old lady she'd come to she was a photographer for Broadway. She was a little old lady. She was probably like 70 years old out there taking pictures. And she would just venture around the whole building, through the whole building, and she'd just take pictures of anything and everything. Guys getting dressed, guys getting ready, putting gear on, working out, and she'd do all kinds of wild stuff. And she'd always give everybody their pictures.
That's cool.
You take.
They call him Jason Stallion.
How much did you win on that scratcher, Terry Turner?
He ain't old enough to be buying scratchers.
He got one for Christmas.
Gambling's a tax for people that are bad at math, Terry.
Sounds like Dave Ramsey.
Gambling is for people who kiss their mothers on the open mouth. Terry, do you kiss your mother on the open mouth?
I don't do much. I don't do much scratch to stuff, but I like the slot machines a little bit.
No.
I had a buddy of mine. I actually did a podcast with him, and he won $10 million on a scratcher.
Good day.
Does he still have it?
Yeah. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he got rid of all of his social media.
That's what you do. You got to get. I try to tell people that you've got to disappear if you win that type of money.
Yeah.
Because people come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, he was having a lot of people like hassling him and everything. Because he started a YouTube channel, and he was doing like scratchers on YouTube and stuff like that, and people were just hassling him way too much, and to the point of where it was like getting threats and shit like that. So he's like, you know what, like, I don't need this. Like,
yeah, I just won $10 million. So why am I doing this to myself?
Right. So he pretty much got rid of everything. He got rid of Facebook, YouTube, everything. He totally went dark on everything.
I wonder how many people try to threaten Harry Tomato for his YouTube lottery winnings. Everyone's like, Harry Tomato, you better give me your money. Harry Tomato, I need my winnings.
Mr. Tomato Head. Oh man. So when did you start doing YouTube?
I started about a year and a half ago. Like I said, actually, my first video was about that VHS I bought for $1 and I sold for over $3,000.
What was that?
It was a Star Wars 1984 factory sealed VHS. It was one of those that they hadn't made any altercations or anything like that. And that was during the whole VHS craze too. Actually, I guess I sold it 2 years ago, but I didn't publish the video for months because I was kind of wary because I bought it not too far from my house, and I was always worried that somebody would come after me. I know that might sound a little bit weird, but when you sell something for $3,000 that you got at a yard sale, maybe somebody want their half. You know what I mean?
Right. You never know. You never know.
But I went ahead and come out with that video, and actually a friend asked me, he said, my dad's like 65 years old, and he said he wants to get into eBay, and I really didn't want to talk with him on the phone about it. So the first 5 or 6 videos I made was just to help him, like if he wanted to watch them, he could, and that was better for me to talk like this than it was to talk to him on the phone.
Right.
And kind of get him in the whole idea of, of course, I'm no expert. And maybe he would watch other people and see what they sold, to go from there. But then I started liking it. I started liking sharing my experiences and kind of here, you know what I mean? And thank goodness a few wonderful people found me along the way, or I'd still be talking to nobody.
Yeah.
You're still talking to a couple nobodies.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the 99%.
Whenever Harry Tomato invites you onto his podcast, that's when you know you made it.
Yeah.
When Kevin, the Commonwealth Flipper, comes up and he says, "Railroad reseller, I'm going to bring you into the inner fold."
Yeah.
Come on into the secret YouTube society.
Scott, you shut your mouth. I'm not homely looking at all. I actually got a haircut today.
You're going to.
I am CB radioactive.
Yep. Radioactive. I like bumper stickers. I'm a big sticker fan.
Do those sell well? Old CBs? Do those sell?
Yeah. If they're certain kinds. You just got to look them up. Bikes sell, base stations, all kinds of stuff.
Because I just never see that stuff. I'm just curious.
I just listed a Uniden scanner for like $20. I ain't even listed anything. I sit here and I talk to you guys. Like, to me, I'm not super serious. Like if we were Bearded Pickers here. Like if I was on Bearded Pickers podcast, if I was sitting here with him, I'd be taking it awfully damn serious. I'd be sitting here looking at the camera, shaking my head like that. But since I'm here on Statics, I just work. I do my work, and it allows me to list stuff. I do like 10 listings a day. I try to find 10 items to list.
So you don't list 45 hats a day?
No, because that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Pardon me. Pardon my French. I love Jesus, but I say bad words. So sometimes I'm not perfect. I'm one of those people that he died for, and I'm getting my money's worth. I'm making sure it was not in vain. I say stupid stuff all the time. So I'm a guy that is in need of a savior.
No one's perfect.
Pay attention to.
Hey John, send
5 people.
Send Beard the link.
He's probably sitting in his recliner there, touching his wiener. By wiener, his dog. He got a wiener dog. Are you not friends with Scott anymore or something?
Oh, Scott, I'm not on Facebook right now.
I
don't
got
have
it. Already sent. It's already sent. It's done. I'm glad I could be of assistance to you, sir. I got to
Thank
finish
you.
up my YouTube video. I got to finish
You're,
up.
you're a good moderator. You're a good moderator, John.
I gotta say, hey everybody! Thank you for watching my video today. I appreciate you guys a bunch, and that's what I got to do. I gotta get that.
Hi,
finished up.
everybody. You should put us in the background and then tag us in your video, and say that we did a
podcast talking trash. I got the railroad flipper here, and we're talking trash about Kevin. Then I get unsubscribers because people love Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin's goated. I don't want to lose no stinking subscribers.
Yeah, you were just gaining a bunch of them.
I did, but it all slowed down. I mean, I think there's something to it. I think there's something.
How many shorts are you putting out a day?
I was putting out 3, but I'm going to go down to just 1.
Yeah, just do 1 a day. Because what you can, I've seen it on some, depending on what the content is. I've seen some channels and they post a lot, like reaction channels. Like if you post a lot of reactions in a day, they do good. But other content, like if you do more than 1 video a day, then it can ding your channel. I don't know why the algorithm's like that, but it is for some reason.
Right. I think that's the problem.
Well, mine's weird. I can do like my weekly video and it'll do decent. But if I try to do a second weekly video, man, it just tanks it.
Yeah.
It does not like those.
I think when you put out another video, it quits pushing your other video. Like it's like, oh, new. I'm gonna go over here and look at this video.
Yeah.
And I did lose 3 subscribers on the last Railroad Reseller. Railroad Reseller Christmas lost 3 subscribers. So,
well, damn it.
That's why he doesn't show up very much. He loses me subscribers. I
wouldn't think some people are going to come, some people are going to go.
What I need to do? There he is.
What up?
He's touching that wiener.
Look at that old homely man right there, touching this wiener.
I'll wake her up. Phoebe said, "Fuck y'all."
I don't blame her.
She don't like nobody anyway.
I'd say that
the 3 of us.
I'd say the same thing, Phoebe. But yeah, my shorts have started doing horrible, Scott.
If I can find somebody that loves me as much as Phoebe, damn. This dog loves me. I don't know why.
At least somebody loves you, because I sure in the hell don't.
Damn right. Have y'all really been on for 2 hours already? 3 hours?
Yeah. Just hanging.
Hanging.
My shorts have slowed down too, but have your eBay been crazy today? I've sold like 12 things on eBay today.
Yeah, I just sold a knife for $400. I'm giving up on YouTube. I'm just listing on eBay from now on. I'm gonna start doing YouTube. I don't know why I get that sudden ring every once in a while. I'm going to start doing YouTube QVC. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to John's Home Shopping Network. Today, I'm going to be selling you a Versace tie with all of these presidents on it. And you, too, can own this for a low payment of $45.
Yeah, I listed a Polaroid, and it sold for $160 right away.
Holy crap.
Polaroid of what?
It's the leather folding one, the SX7, the Alpha one.
I
sold some kind of streamer, some kind of Android streamer for $170 too.
Yeah, I'm between the past 2 days. Yesterday we sold. Let me get back over here. My internet's slow as shit. Yesterday we did $1,346.
Damn,
and today we did 681. So if you combine the 2 days together, like a
2K.
robot, we did $2,000 in the past 2 days. That's not too bad because my wife gets 800 of that, and then I get to keep the 1,200 of it. And we still got today's what, Wednesday or Thursday?
Thursday.
So we got Friday, Saturday, and so I got 2 more days. So if the eBay doesn't say screw you and we're cutting you dry, like we'll probably, I could possibly do $2,500 this week. That'd be pretty good. That's Scott Zilke. That makes me want to change my last name, John Zilke. I'll be out there going, roll tide. I got all the monies.
Now, John, you know there's a glitch that comes through at 3:32 every morning.
Oh, no. The glitches are coming for us.
The glitches are after you, buddy. They're going to shut you down at 3:32 a.m.
Well, I can tell you, I've made enough money this week. I'm okay. It can glitch out for the rest of the week. I'll be okay.
And but what you have to do to get over the glitch, you have to swap off your international and then cut it back on, and then the glitch is just
you end all of your items that are alphabetically insignificant, and then you relist those, and you're okay.
See, I don't get it. I don't get it, John. My estate sale shorts were doing really, really good, and this one here is at 157. I mean, I was getting 3,000 and 4,000 on estate sale videos, and this one is 157. I'm gonna change the title on it.
Yeah, that's going forward. That's what I'm gonna do is start kind of trying to do my own titles on it, doing some keywords like end it in hashtag eBay or hashtag thrifting or thrift with me or estate sale or
just put Harry Tomato on the end of everything.
Harry Tornado.
Yeah. That's what we should do with every person that don't have like 25 subscribers and just put Harry Tornado on the end and see if they would get their subscriber just through the roof.
I can tell you that Scott here, when he was going crazy, he was getting thousands of subs, just like it was crazy. And we'd go on his show and we're like, here we go, time to ride some coattails. And you'd go on Scott's show and you'd pick up, you might even on a good day, you might get 10, 15. But for the most part, like you could be Harry Tornado's twin brother and you might help him. You might be able to get subs, but nobody else. You got to be able to put the content out, be able to do a good job. I've been watching a lot of Mr. Beast talking about how he talks about how content, you got to catch there. You got to start the video out. You got to be like, hey, in today's video, we're going to be talking about how Jason Static has, anal warts or something weird like that. But if that's the topic of your video, that's what you want to start with. Or today we're going to talk about how Frankenstein. I know they came for me. How Frankenstein is the best movie monster, and then that's what you want to start your video off with. Frankenstein is the best movie monster. You want to be definitive. Be like, every other movie monster sucks. Only Frankenstein. Yeah, and that's what he says. The stronger you can make your statement, the better. So, like, if you can be like, selling, like you can make a video that says selling on cross-listing on eBay is nothing, or cross-listing on reselling cross-listers are nothing but a waste of time. Vendu sucks balls. And you want to start out your video saying Vendu is the worst thing that you could possibly invest your money in. Don't do it. And here is 3 reasons why. And like, those are the kind of videos that do well. That's how Mr. Beast made his millions. And if you see it, the people who do those types of videos, they do really well. I wonder how John's videos, his shorts are doing.
I don't know. They're kind of preoccupied. They've had some real douchebags on the internet. Him and John and Josh, and so they've been trying to deal with that.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
There's a group of about 6 people that are just the haters of anything promoted, and they think anybody who tells you should promote listings is the devil, and that they should everybody should band together against eBay and form a union, and we shouldn't promote listing because it's just paying for the same thing they've always. I mean, you've got these low rent, low IQ motherfuckers who are they've sent they've sent Josh some death threats. You know, this dude is raising 2 young kids. And so he Google once he proved what they had done, Google identified these idiots.
Are they people in the reselling community, or are they just dorks?
Oh yeah, they're all in the reselling community. Two of them are make 2 or 3 of them make videos quite frequently.
Wow.
And I've get 2 of them are the ones who are got huge. A couple of them. Well, one of them doesn't make videos, but one does and one doesn't. Of the 2 big stores, they've got huge stores of cassette tapes and hats and shit, and have been hit really hard by the changes because eBay has come around to figure that they can sell more shit if they don't push that stupid shit. How many people are you trying to attract? I mean, we say eBay doesn't do a good job attracting people. But if your platform is full of all these goddamn cassette tapes and all these mall clothes and bullshit, you ain't never gonna get nobody over there to buy nothing anyway.
Right.
And so one of those is a YouTuber, one of them isn't. You would know that guy. You would know the one guy.
Is he a St. Louis native?
he is.
That dude's a piece of crap. Lord forgive me. I've not liked him. I think his content is.
I watched him for a while, and then I decided there was something off about him, and I quit watching him. And then when I came back to eBay, he was in John's chat for a little bit. So I'm like, or Josh's chat. So I'm like, you know what? I'll check it again. And which doesn't make any sense because why are you doing the outside? He's been tracking his outside promotions as. I'm like, if you're so against this and going to rail against it on anybody else, what are you doing the off-site coupon or off-site advertising?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no. And then the other guy is one of the newer guys. His channel rhymes with Hayfro. He seems to be the ringleader. You know who that guy is?
I don't think so.
I think his name is Jeff.
There's so many people that I don't follow.
I don't follow hardly any of them, and that's probably why, because I'm never in live chats. I don't care. I just do what I do, and if they know better than to threaten me, because I'm just a redneck down here in Alabama. There's always a gun laying around. Good luck, motherfuckers.
Right.
And I just don't care. You can do whatever you want. I don't know if you've got yours set up like mine, John, but I've got all these different words set up. If you use any of them, it brings your comments to approval.
Right.
And so nobody ever sees it. My chat's always clean because I've got so many. That's how I got through with your boy Shane. I put Shane's name as one of the trigger words, and so every time somebody asks about Shane, I never approved it. I just deleted them all. And so that's why, I never mentioned his name, and then he never showed up in the comments because his name was blocked.
Right. I haven't talked to him in forever. He's way out there in
but it's
La La Land.
because you know me. On my live show, I'll drop an F-bomb on you and cuss you out on the live show. I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's irritating.
that's the thing you want reality in it. There's too much, and sometimes there's too much phoniness in some videos. And one thing I want to be as real as possible.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
I'm about to say, what am I dying? It's my headset dying.
Sometimes being as real as possible is gonna get you a lot of negative blowback, but you also gotta not care about the negative blowback at the same time.
I just try to help people. I just try to tell them, I tell them what I'm doing and what I've learned and that kind of stuff. And if you don't want to listen, don't tune in. Don't make a shit of me. I'm giving you my honest opinion, and because even though I would never do one of those big stores like that, I don't have anything against them. If that's what he wants to sell and he's been successful for 22 years, then fuck, keep selling. Just what do you care if somebody else wants when a platform says this is where we're going? Why are you mad when people follow the way the platform wants you to go? That don't make any damn sense.
Right.
Well, I just like the false information that's given by him sometimes. The whole 3:32 in the morning glitch stuff. You know what I mean? And turn off your international sales and turn them back on. And that's just bad advice. Don't get if just accept things are the way they are. But don't give out bad advice.
Yeah, I've noticed. I've noticed how stuff runs in cycles and stuff, but it is what it is. The biggest thing that nobody don't realize is more than anything else, more than any of the glitches or anything else, the economy is driving a lot of this shit.
Yeah,
people are hurting. People are hurting in this economy right now.
Well, you have to sell. Like I was talking to John from Thrifting Ain't Easy, and we were discussing the stuff that he was selling. I'm like, you're selling to people's needs. That's why you're doing so good. You're not selling, and you have people like the other guy from St. Louis that he's selling once. He's selling stuff that people don't need. And I think in 2024, he's going to find himself pretty messed up, because there's going to be a lot less people out there buying once, and they're going to be buying needs, especially with stuff that's going to happen. Most likely.
Have I sold any needs today? I sold a TV remote. I sold a Disney princess, a camera, a can opener, a game, a remote, a car, a camera, a pressure cooker, a lightsaber.
When keeping it real, real keeps the phonies at bay.
There you go. There's a title for a video somehow.
Yeah, there you go. When keeping real keeps the phonies at bay.
You want to know what really want to know what's killing? It's shipping and delivery. Here it is. I ordered on the 23rd. I ordered a charger for a Bose stereo out there to test. On the 23rd, it says shipped on Saturday the 23rd. It has nothing else on tracking. Nothing.
Right.
Tracking number provided. Its estimated date was today. That does more damage to eBay than anything.
Well, but that's stuff that's out of all of our hands, even eBay. That's why I do 2-day handling time, but we ship everything within 24 hours. I
do the same thing. I try. There's stuff that won't get 24 hours. Probably 75% goes 24 hours. Within one day. But, this one is on the 23rd. It's not, the carrier has not updated tracking or anything. When you look at it, it says the carrier has the package arriving by the 28th. But when you hit the tracking on the package and see the details, it was picked up on the 23rd. The pre-shipment was on the 22nd, so I ordered it on the 22nd. UPS awaits the item. It says picked up on the 23rd, and there's nothing else. No in transit, no nothing. That means that package is probably never. I bet the carrier doesn't have it. Let's put it in Google and see what the Google man says. Tell us, old genius of Google.
Stuff like that's actually when the time you do look at people's feedback, because even though they'll show a certain percentage, sometimes they're 200 negatives a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, UPS picked up the item, Carbondale, Illinois. That's the last thing we've heard of it. Or USPS, sorry. And this has been a good year for USPS. I've had no issues with the post office. They did a really good job this fourth quarter.
Yeah, we had one item get lost and destroyed, and we had to refund for it. I only had one return. We had a FedEx return. The item was returned FedEx, which I thought was kind of weird.
Now, are you still able to yard sell down there in Alabama at this time of year? Or has it gotten too damn cold down there too?
It's too cold. We don't have the next 10 days. We only get out of the 40s like twice.
Goodness.
Yeah,
We've got better weather here in Virginia. I've got better weather in Virginia than that.
Yeah, let's see. 44, 41, 45, 54, 42, 43, 47, 49, then back to 53 a week from tomorrow. It's generally late February. We'll start getting 8 or 10. Then by middle of March, we'll be into the probably 20 a weekend, and then by April it'll be 40, back in the 40s and 40s or 50s.
Mine never starts that early.
So, what part of Virginia are you in?
Southwest Virginia, near Roanoke.
Yeah, one of my real good friends is in Abington.
Yeah, I'm about an hour and a half from there.
Oh, I know Roanoke now. I've made a lot of money in Roanoke.
Yeah, there's some good stuff there. There really is. I was telling them one of my biggest turns ever was a $3,000 VHS, and I got that in Salem, Virginia, which is just a few miles from Roanoke.
Because I grew up in North Carolina. I lived in Wilmington for quite a few years, for 15 years. When I started this, and I would go up through Roanoke and up and over into Norfolk. Made a lot of money in Norfolk too. Damn, ain't no resellers in Norfolk, Virginia. All them damn Rite Aids over there. God, I used to kill them Rite Aids in Norfolk, but Rite Aids and Walgreens in Norfolk.
That's a long ways. Across state in Virginia is a long ways. Of course, North Carolina is the same way. From Asheville to like Wilmington's a long ways.
Yeah, that's about 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually shorter for me to go down to Atlanta and then up through Georgia and South Carolina than it is to go up the Knoxville and across North Carolina. It's about an hour and a half shorter.
And Tennessee's a long-ass state.
Yeah, but I usually go the other way, so I can jump across Tennessee in like an hour. Because I can get to Kentucky from here. I can get to Kentucky in 2.5 hours to the Kentucky line.
Wow.
Krillin, what's up, my man? I can get the Tennessee in 4 hours.
I can get to Tennessee in 13 minutes.
Oh, yeah?
You got me beat. I can get there in an hour and a half. I can get to Bristol in about an hour and a half from where I'm at.
It's only like 11.
Really about an hour instead of an hour and a half.
It's only like 11 miles. It's only 11 miles to Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm closer to Memphis.
Yeah, that auction that I sell on is actually in Tennessee.
Like I say, I'm not far from the Bristol end of it. There's a new casino over there and stuff. So, and I like Johnson City. Johnson City's I've got some good stuff out of Johnson City. Every once in a while, what I do when I'm kind of hard up for stuff, I'll go down to Johnson City.
When Jason's hard up, he just goes to John's place. Oh, wait a minute. They are the same place.
Yeah. Got that. You're just jealous that I don't come to you, Scott.
That's it. We could have almost matching beers. It would be just terrible.
Oh, that would be gorgeous.
Yeah, I don't live in Florida anymore.
When the hell did you live in Florida?
I've been to Graceland Krillin, Rob. It was cool.
I lived in Florida in 2002, and then I lived in Florida in 2013.
I'm about to say, yeah, it hadn't been lately. Okay. I've been to Graceland too, but it's been a while. I think I was like 12. I drove by there. I tried not to get shot.
Yeah, I've been by there, but I haven't been to Graceland. I actually went on a bus tour one time to Texas and watched the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros games. And they took us through there and they said, on your right is Graceland. We don't have time, so just wave as you go by.
That is a rough area. Well, all of Memphis is rough, but that's really rough.
Mm. Yeah, I'm not too far from Memphis at all.
Yeah, that's what these boys need to do. They need to make more videos and kind of pan around your car, because every now and then, if I'm in the van or the truck, if you're paying attention, there's gun magnets. There'll be a pistol magnet to the dash. I'm like, I'll get a comment in a video, go, is that on your dash what I thought it was? I'm like, yeah. What of it?
Exactly.
It's harder to see the one in the van now, because if I'm in the van, I carry the Glock 19X, and it's sand color just like the dash is, so you can't see it. Good luck. I'll unload all 20 of them on you before you figure out there's a gun in there.
You see that video of that guy that took 12 to the chest and kept coming after the cop?
No, I have not.
Yeah, dude, he did, but it took a minute.
See, I watch all these crashing car videos and stuff. People are crazy, man, stopping cars and getting. I'm like, why do people not carry bear spray? You can put up a can of bear spray and right in the door and open the window and just nail them. That stuff's got long range.
I'm not going to show what's in that case, but it's literally like right off.
It's the only thing that saves his booty hole every night.
That's right. I pointed at John's face every day that I see him standing in front of me when I wake up.
He drives by my house and he's just mean mugging me, pointing the gun.
I gotta warn him, man. Stay away from me.
You need to make another video, John, of shooting returns.
Yeah, that worked out great. Who would have thought that shooting stuff on YouTube would kill your video?
You know, another good thing to carry is like wasp spray. Wasp spray is some good stuff.
It's the same thing as bear spray, pretty much.
Yeah, I know I know. I'm just saying that has a long reach. That stuff to get into those nests and all.
Yeah, it does.
I tell you what, Soda City, he put out a video crushing the new year. He got 2.4K views on it, 2,400 views. And I think the last time he told me he gained like 200 or 300 subs off of it. That was a good video. I need to do a 2024. I like to sit down and do a 2024 video with me and Megan. It's funny how you'll do 2,200 views, 1,900 views, 2,400 views, and he's got two videos between all that that's got 186 views and 187 views. But the stuff that he's showing, there's a difference. Like, people like commentary videos. They don't want to have to watch your channel. They like people will listen to your channel if they're working or something. That's
Yeah.
why it's not good to try to be too visual in your videos, especially if you're an educational channel.
Yeah.
So you're going to explain the things you sold, not just show them up, right?
Right.
That's what you're saying.
Or like talk, like make videos, motivational videos, like make a motivational video, saying you can do this, but maybe in a different way, but like a little bit more like, be like, hey, I know you're, a lot of you guys are struggling out there, but I want to tell you that I'm thinking about, the reselling community as a whole, and that, I'm constantly looking for ways to improve your ability to make money, and I'm making videos, and just be like, give them a reason to watch you, be like, here's 5 reasons, or here's 5 ways to improve your views on your items, talk about taking clear photos, just finding different ways to rehash the basic fundamental truths of eBay. Good photos, good descriptions, maximize keywords in the title, don't, to find stuff with good sell-through rates. Because I think that eBay is just like YouTube, that if you're putting a lot of shit content out, if you're putting a lot of cassette tapes and hats up, you're not going to get the views. The shit that it ain't no good. Like, they're not going to spend time pushing people to your listings if you're, you got 60,000 items listed, but you're only selling, 50 a day. I mean, that ratio's shit. It's just garbage.
Yeah, early on when I found him, I didn't know he was the way he was. And he was boasting about he wanted to have 80,000 things in his store. And I said, why isn't the goal to have 0 things in your store? And he got really defensive over. I know nobody's going to with 0 things in your store. I get that idea, but why is 80,000 your goal and not 0 things in your store your goal?
I don't get the people that brag how big their stores are. That just means you've got a bunch of shit. You got a bunch of shit that nobody wants, and you're counting on the worthless crap just selling the numbers. I mean, that takes no talent. You're not a talented reseller. If all you do is buy a bunch of crap and you're betting on the odds that there's some rando that's gonna you're enough randos to buy the shit, there's no talent in that. The talent, I mean, there's okay, so you've got drive and discipline to do a lot of listings, but you have no skill as a reseller.
It's, we sold 118,000 or something like that just on my just on my YouTube. We sold $118,028. We did 2,735 items. It equates out, if you take out the Sundays, it's about like shipping 7-8 items a day. And my wife did $18,888 on her eBay. And, I've tried to break into her mind that she sold 509 items at 18,888. I'm like, you don't want to have a lot of listings. You want to have as few listings. You're right, Chris. 0. You want to have 0 listings. Like, could you imagine listing $1,000 worth of merchandise a day and then selling $1,000 the next day? Like, everything sold? That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine
Well, and I don't know how you keep an accurate account of all that stuff. You know, how does somebody keep up with 45,000 items? I mean, because I've watched that person, and he's just digging through bins. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not that organized. I'd never be able to keep up with all that.
I can tell you that in the area of St. Louis that he lives in, there's actually some city ordinances against having that much shit in your house. My aunt that lives up there, she her neighbors called enforcement on her because her house was too crowded, too cluttered, and they made her come through and clean all that shit out. If he's out there fucking with people and someone makes the wrong phone call,
but in most of it in his basement though.
My aunt's stuff was in her basement. In St. Louis County, they have ordinances against hoarding.
Mm-hmm. I don't see how that stack up illegally. I don't think if it's yours, you could.
I'm telling you, the police showed up at my aunt's house. This isn't a friend of a friend. This is my aunt. They showed up at her house.
I believe you, John. It's just I'm a libertarian. Fuck the government.
Oh, I agree with you 100%, and I would never. I'm not making a phone call.
I'll tell you, St. Louis is very weird when it comes to a lot of the stuff they allow and don't allow. With just anything in general.
They allowed Jason Static to have an all-nude male stripper midget.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah. They allowed him to flash Joyce Myers. I mean, really, how strict are the laws?
Yeah, fuck that bitch. Wait, I didn't say that. I'm sorry, Joyce.
There went all your subscribers.
They're upset with me now.
Joyce Oscar Myers.
So how much have you listed, John, since we've been all yakking with you?
I've only got 10 drafts. I've sat in here. I need to do some clothes, but I can't talk to you guys, and my clothes listing station's over there. And
why don't you flip the camera?
I mean, I could, but
you're just being a lazy bum.
Yeah.
Well, but I could be called a lazy bum, but I just use Photo Room for everything. Is that against the rules?
I don't think so. I don't use photo.
Have you tried that, John?
Nah, I use a wood background. I love a wood background. I think that my pictures really stand out. And I don't like an all white background. I don't like Photo Room. It makes it look like a fake image. Now, that's me. That's my personal opinion. But I'm not a big fan of it.
Well, I mean, is that a big lie that's told in the reseller community that you have to have white backgrounds? Is that what,
They say it's what you got to have for
I have a black background
to pick up your images. I don't know if there's any truth to it. I just don't like just all white backgrounds. Maybe that's the missing key. Maybe I could sell another $20,000 a year if I changed all my backgrounds to white, but I don't know.
Hey, we're just shooting the bull here. I was just curious what you thought.
I don't know. I don't know the answer. I wish I.
Well, for years they would say that, but I don't. Then now they've kind of backed off of it, so I don't know that it really matters. But though it's also easier for the white. The more just if you got a black background, but you got an item that pops off of it, I think that's more important that the item can be clearly seen.
Yeah, I have a
butter and shit in it.
I have a photo box, and it's a black background in the photo box, and then the lights kind of
go down in the city.
Yeah, go down in the city, and it makes it work.
Well, we've all talked about wrestling a lot tonight. I got a bunch of LJN wrestling figures one time.
Not me. Scott says, you want to get me, you're going to talk about Bama football.
Bama.
But anyway, I saw the LJN wrestlers, and somebody actually had one of those stages like you would have back in the days where like Mean Gene would interview the guys, and he would have those in front of his LJN wrestlers, and he was getting a lot more for his figures. Like say I could get $22, he could get $30 for the same figure in the same condition because he had that little background that looked like Mean Gene was going to interview him at any moment.
Yeah.
That looks good. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's just simple, like plain black background. It's kind of blurred in the back, but that's just the way that my little
it makes it pop.
Yeah. And I just take pictures of all the sides and
looks
there you go, Poltergeist.
Actually, it does look pretty good.
Yeah. And it worked for me. I mean,
now, do you use your laptop or do you list by phone?
No, I only list on the computer. Yeah, because I got everything that I list. I have a template for it. So like if I sell tapes or anything like that, or anything, like I have a template just for, like if I sell tapes, I have a template for that. If I sell figures, I have a template for that. If I sell cards, I have a template for that. If I sell knives, I have a template for that. If I sell, like if I sell this right here, I have a template for that. Like this is just an empty box.
Oh, they made cards for that movie?
Yeah. Cool. They made cards for everything back in the day.
Yeah, the 80s. They went card crazy in the 80s.
But so like I have templates for everything, and my templates are saved all on my computer. So in a PDF file. So like if I know that I'm going to be listing a lot of tapes that day, I just have the PDF file on one side. Like I have a screen here and a screen here, and I keep the PDF file up. Click, copy, paste. Click, copy, paste, and I can, if I really sat down and wanted to, like I could list just as much as anybody else a day if I really wanted to. But I'm like John, I only list a handful of things a day.
I'm getting ready to go through my whole inventory and pull out anything that's under $15, unless it's smalls that ships cheap. But I'm going to go through and work my whole basement down there and condense everything down. And if things have been listed for a while, it's going to get pulled, and I'm going to run it through my auction to get rid of stuff.
Same thing here. I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, I've got 2,700 items listed, and I guarantee you 1,000 of those items are complete and total shit. And I probably got another 300 or 400 items in that basement that aren't even listed.
Because
eBay will delist your shit.
That's like everything. And I take all my pictures on my cell phone, so. And then I just transfer them from my phone to my computer.
See, a lot of times I list at work, so I use my phone for listing purposes. Because I have breaks and stuff like that, so I list a lot at work. So that's why I'm not against laptops or computers, whatever, but that's why I do the phone thing, is because I'm on the go.
I work at a restaurant, so it's hard for me to actually sit down and list anything at the restaurant. Like if there's times where like I used to take my laptop with me, so like I keep I keep all my pictures on an external hard drive. So none of my pictures are on my computer; they're on my hard drive. So like I can take my hard drive. Like I went up to my dad's on Tuesday, and I know I was going to be doing some stuff because I have my own website that I sell stuff on too. So I knew I was going to be putting stuff on the website and redoing it on and off of it. So I took my hard drive. I took my external hard drive with me and my laptop, so I was able to do stuff wherever I wanted to go. So, you know, I don't know. I've just never really liked it on, on phone. Because like I said, I have everything in template form, so it's just easier for me to do it on a computer or on a laptop. Have any of you guys have Auction Ninja?
No.
No. Not me. I don't know what that is.
No, neither. But like, at my work, we actually have what we call continuous running. And by doing that, we get more breaks. We get 20-minute first break, a 40-minute lunch, a 30-minute last break, and like another 20.
Okay.
So, I mean, and that's if we don't have no downtime. If we have downtime, then we're down even more. So, you know what I mean? I'm one of these that has to constantly keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it gives me something to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, it's later here where I'm at. I'm going to go for tonight. It's been great, y'all.
All right, bud. Nice talking to you. Thank you for coming
Take care.
Hey, before you go, can you give me a toot toot?
A railroad reseller is here for you. Toot, toot.
There we go.
All right, take it easy, man. Well, we're almost 4 hours into this thing. I think I might actually bounce out too. I'll be over in the chat group though if you want to come over, John.
Okay, I'm gonna go home.
You can come over to Beardy if you want to.
You have the link.
Let me.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out for all this time. Be sure to hit that check down in the description. Hit the website. Go buy some stuff from me. It's going to help me out a lot. If you don't want to, cool. If you do, cool. Thanks for everybody coming on. Everybody in the chat, cool.
Merry
Christmas. I'm great at closing YouTubes out, right? Peace out, everybody.
Connie Linger showed up. What the hell?
Uh-oh.